All right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Slice of Shonen Podcast. I am your host on the boat, Sailor, and it has been a fucking insane 24 hours. It's been an insane week. All my wrestle heads out there, Royal Rumble, that was something. I've been talking about this One Piece chapter all week, and we'll probably be talking about it for a very long time on this podcast as well. But I talked about it yesterday with one of my friends, and I was like, wow, there's so much to this chapter. What a discussion. I think I'm ready to go to bed. And then someone texted me, one of my other friends. He was like, hey, have you seen this LUKA Doncic trade? I said, have I seen the what, brother? And then I stayed up till 5 a.m. because I literally could not sleep. I was just scrolling through social media looking at everything. I was like, this is too much for my fucking brain capacity right now.
You had a crazy day yesterday.
This is too much for too much info for my brain. I'm going through an overload. So luckily, it is not just me here on this podcast. As you guys have already heard, we have our Ensemble of Excellence here, making his grand return to the podcast. He has come back with the milk. We have the Cooking Taco. Taco, say hello to everybody, man. How's life been treating you?
Life's been good, but One Piece has been crazy recently.
True.
Oh, we got another one.
Oh, is this Jigga? Hi, Jigga. Hi. Well, you're next up on the intro list anyway. Say hi to the people, Jigga.
Hi to the people, Jigga.
Whoa, that's awesome. His channel is linked down below. Make sure you guys go check that out. It's under Adam, so make sure you check that out, man. You better check out, or we'll send you a strongly worded letter. We have the Silver. Silver, say hey to the people, man.
Hey, what up, everyone?
We have
got a lot to check today.
True. We have the me. Hey, how's it going? And of course, the Zenith anime manga. Zenith, say hi to the people.
Yo, hi.
His channel is also linked down below in the description. Make sure you guys go check that out, or you'll be having two very strongly worded letters sent in the mail to you. Thank you very much. Make sure you like the stream, all that good stuff. We appreciate you guys for being here. Obviously, very big turnout for a very big One Piece chapter. So let's just dive right into it, man. One Piece chapter 1138. There is so much to say about this chapter, but fellas, just to kick things off in so many words, how are we feeling about this one?
What a fucking week. Like, my God.
Man,
yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Holy
Oh, my God.
shit.
Sky.
Whoa, Sky's here.
Oh, did something happen in One Piece, guys?
Thank God. I could not talk about One Piece without Sky here. I need my sidekick here,
Damn,
he's my
fuck Zenith, huh? What is this about?
Hey, man. No, because I can't do the same bits with Zenith, because Zenith actually knows a lot of stuff that happens in One Piece.
Okay.
Yeah, I pay attention when Taka's talking about the series.
No. I pay attention. I just forget what I read.
Slander of hell, man.
Last night, Taco and I were talking about One Piece, and like half a dozen times he asked me, like, Sky, do you know why this happened? And it's like, I don't. Do you know how they built Impel Down? It's like, no, I don't know.
Because that's the thing, it's like, if I ask Zenith, I'm like, do you know how this happened? He'd be like, yeah, I kind of remember. Like, he'll remember.
Yeah, so there's not, Taco needs his straw man. Average One Piece fan over here.
I need my straw man. How can I?
He needs the nigga who hasn't been paying attention in the class to call on. He's that teacher.
I remember most things. I know the plot of One Piece. It's just like, okay, well, do you know the name of like the fifth dude to join the Blackbeard Pirates? And like, no, I don't.
No.
Well, it's because I haven't been on the.
I'd
podcast
imagine
for a
Oda would have
while.
to check the wiki too, to be fair.
Did you find it?
Yeah.
Did you find the milk?
Which one of us? I know I didn't.
Well,
Damn.
you always come back with something at least. But Taco, did you find
Yeah,
the milk?
I did not find any milk. Well, I haven't been on the
Fuck.
podcast for the last couple of weeks, and I'm gonna just be honest with everyone. I have not been keeping up with I'm like 2 or 3 chapters behind on Chainsaw Man. I'm a couple chapters behind on Kagurabachi. The only series I've been keeping up with is One Piece because obviously, but because I haven't been here, a lot has happened. So I'm gonna try not to talk about everything that happened, but I do want to point out one thing. Shamrock. I was right.
It's
Yeah.
been
I
so
just-
long.
I did just
That was
call that.
hard.
Yeah.
I think it was back when we got the fucking it was when we got the panel where Vegapunk was like, whoever finds the One Piece, shapes the world or whatever. And there's the panel of now we know it's Shamrock.
The
but it
important
was
characters.
Yeah, and it was the silhouetted guy, and I think I gave a theory about I think that is Shanks' brother.
Mhm. I think
Most
so.
likely the leader of the Holy Knights. And
Yeah.
I can't take full credit for that. Lots of people were saying it, but
No,
that
I
was a
think you
theory
can.
that did come true.
Definitely started with Taco.
I guess before we get to the end of the chapter, we should talk about other stuff that happened. in
Yeah,
this chapter.
How do you guys want to go
yeah.
page by page? We just want to bring up random moments. There's so much we can start
probably-
with.
Probably page by page is going to be the smart way to go about this. So,
Yeah.
very beginning, Shamrock and Loki.
Mhm.
Bro, you're not going to
So-
talk about who's who?
Yeah,
I
I was
know
like,
that's
we
your
we
favorite
got who's
character.
who, man. He's
Yeah.
here.
That's your favorite character, right?
Who?
Ah.
It's
Who? That's
it's
it.
who's who, not just who.
Yeah. Who's who?
Who's who?
You know, see, Big who's man over here. Who's? Anyways.
Yeah.
A Bart. A Bart.
The
A
funny
Bart.
thing is, I like Who's Who. I think he's cool, but obviously he's not that cool. He's fine. I'm not that happy to see him again.
He's cool. He's not cool.
I personally think his fight with Jinbei is pretty underrated.
Oh, I like it.
I think
I
it's very
know-
funny.
There's a lot of people who don't like most of the Wano fights, and I genuinely think that's fair. I don't think most of them are that good. I think Franky versus fucking Sasaki is
Sasaki is awesome.
literally. No, I think that fight sucks.
What?
I-
What?
I think Franky versus Sasaki is one of the worst fights in the series.
Holy,
Let
bro.
them know.
Damn.
I don't like that fight at all. But
Niggas
but
calling
I-
who's who underrated, but Sasaki. Fucking
I
crazy.
do like Who's Who versus Jinbei. I think that is a fun fight. I think it's a funny fight. But getting into the Shamrock stuff, so it appears as if his sword has eaten a mythical zone devil fruit.
Yeah, man.
Which is,
Off rip, that
Everyone-
just kills the Blackbeard theory.
yes, it does.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even think about that until I watched Arter's video.
Oh, yeah.
I was,
That was
Forgot
like
about
the
that,
first
too.
thing I thought about. I was like,
I
well,
did not
okay.
even think about it.
Yeah, guys, the Blackbeard theory. Can't believe it.
Well, I'm gonna be,
That theory. Ugh.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know when I changed my mind, but pretty recently, I've been for a while, I've been thinking I don't think Blackbeard's getting a third devil fruit. I think he's just gonna have two. I think he has enough.
Off-string
He could
hockey,
have
the Quake
more.
Quake fruit, the Yami Yami.
A
no
potential ancient weapon incoming. Yeah.
Mi. Yeah.
Well, multiple because he knows Pluton. He knows he knows where Pluton is. He knows where Poseidon is. He has two of the most powerful devil fruits in the series. I really don't think he needs a third. If I would give
But
him
it
a-
ain't about
Right.
need. It's about what would be fucking awesome. You know?
Well, Zenith and I were talking about it, but I think Blackbeard, the way Oda has him set up is kind of perfect because
That is fair.
obviously-
About that, yeah.
obviously, it's darkness, so darkness versus the sun. That's the obvious thing. But I think even from a artistic, the way Oda
It's very good for
showed-
manga because it's
Yeah.
a lot of black and white.
the way Oda shows the Gurgur no Mi, the earthquake fruit, it is like white. It's like white lightning. He like cracks the sky, and then he has the black, from the darkness. And then Luffy is all white, but he uses hockey, so he's got like black. So they're both black and white.
Yeah,
a mix of
contrast.
Yeah, and it's very
That's cool.
contrasting. It's like I think visually that's set up to just be a really cool looking fight.
That'll be
When they fight, yeah, it's gonna look cool. So I don't think he needs another devil fruit.
Yeah, but what if he was a fucking dragon? Have you considered that? No, I'm kidding. Remember that when it's like
He's gonna
that
steal
was the
Kaido's
theory.
fruit?
He was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
show up to Wano and like steal his fruit. That was like a talking point for a while.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Feel
I mean,
alive.
in the way it kind of would make sense for Blackbeard, like for him to want the most powerful out of each type of devil fruit.
Yeah.
He's already got Logia and Paramecia, so it kind of makes sense that he would round it out by getting the most powerful.
I mean, yeah,
man.
that's what everyone's thought for a
Hey,
long
man,
time.
Wait until
Everyone-
Shanks
People
on
thought he
screen
was
said-
either gonna go for Kaido's or Marco's. That was like
Marco's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
guys.
him with Marco's fruit would be crazy.
Everyone has been thinking that for a long time now. Okay, it's pretty obvious. If somebody
Right,
wasn't
right,
thinking
right.
about that this whole
Yeah.
time, it would indicate that they just weren't paying attention.
Type
Absolutely.
shit.
I don't know if this is a hot take, but Zenith, this is another thing Zenith and I were talking about. Shamrock.
Immediately put Zenith's name in front of it after saying, "I don't know if it's a hot take." You threw that nigga
Well,
under the bus.
Here's the thing.
Zenith
I
agrees with me.
requested my good friend to be on. I'll take the heat with him.
Understandable.
I think this is a hot take, but Zenith agrees with me because this is something we agreed on.
Okay, man, you're laying it on a bit then.
Go ahead, Taco. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think Shamrock, in terms of strength, is at least equal to Shanks.
Oh, I do.
Oh
agree with
yeah,
that,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, that
It's
makes
like,
sense.
I straight up said that on the podcast last
Yeah,
week.
absolutely.
Yes, I agree.
I think that's a hot take because people ride Shanks's dick like it's going out of style.
Oh my god, yeah.
But I genuinely feel like, what the fuck is the point if he's not? If
Yeah,
he's not equal to Shanks, like, literally, why
Yeah.
even fucking do it?
yeah. I feel like he has to be.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because like that's also a big thing. Is like they're twins. Like they're gonna like usually it's always a given that the twins are gonna be of equal strength.
Mhm.
You think that Shamrock is a hockey man?
No,
Well,
I think
probably
he
not. At least
relies
not
too
as
much
much as
on his
Shanks.
devil fruit. You know, I think he's it's a bit of a crutch.
Merchant,
doesn't
if
have
you
that.
say.
He doesn't have that will.
Because I think I think Shamrock will have pretty strong hockey.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I think it's going to be worse than Shanks. Well, because for one, I guess that actually that's a pretty good transition. Because
God, if only there was something that Shamrock had that like Shanks didn't. Specifically, like 2 of them. Something that can act as an advantage.
Type shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's because Shamrock's sword is named Cerberus, and it has seemingly eaten the Cerberus mythical zone devil fruit. And we've seen that's really cool because we've seen tons of weapons have devil fruits before, but usually they're just like regular zones. This is the first time we've ever seen a sword or weapon have a mythical zone, which is kind of crazy. That not him, he doesn't have it. His fucking sword does.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's insanely
and-
smart too.
And well, it makes me wonder because I think it could go one of two ways. I think either he is a hockey man. I think it could just be like he is like Shanks. He just uses hockey, and then his sword has a devil fruit, or his sword has a devil fruit and he has a devil fruit, which would be pretty
cool
crazy.
because I don't think we've seen that before.
Yeah, like him having another mythical zone or something. Because obviously, if his sword has a mythical zone, he's not having anything less.
It's
You know, like,
He
for
either has a
What the
mythical
fuck?
zone or something just insane,
Yeah,
like a
with
special
Logia.
Paramecia or a really good Logia.
Yeah, he's gonna have an insane devil fruit if he has one.
Yeah.
I have not made up my mind on which one I would prefer. I'm kind of okay with whatever.
I think he's just going to just based on this, I think he's going to just be Hockey Man plus Cerberus Sword.
I think I
And
would
that's-
prefer that.
Yeah.
That's strictly because, like, I love the contrast of just like Griffin being named like, oh, this thing that soars above all, but Shanks belongs to like the filthy lower realm, whereas like Shamrock belongs in like the higher realm, but he has the guard dog of hell, and that fits for so many ways. Like obviously we know these niggas are nefarious, and he's like the head guard guy, but on top of that, Shamrock also just using like lower things beneath him to handle his stuff. Like even in this chapter, he's like, I'm not bloodying my hands with you. No, Cerberus.
He thinks he's above it, but he's Cerberus.
Go deal with that. Yeah, so I can definitely see him just being like that sort of ideology emanating in his fight style as well.
He even refers to it like, I think guys, it was like a translation thing where he refers to this world as like the underworld, basically.
Yeah, like the lower realm or something like that. Yeah.
When he has, the guard dog of the underworld. You could also see it as like, you know, Shanks has Griffin and he's able to go as he pleases, soar around basically.
Right.
And, and Shamrock is a loyal dog at the end of the day.
He thinks he's the most free.
He thinks he's the most free because he's a celestial dragon, but he's actually just a loyal dog at the end of the day.
Yep. Oh, although that actually does want me to bring up one thing I think me and Sailor were talking about. Like do you think this means that the name of Emma Shanks' sword is actually more literal?
No, I don't.
Well, like how
I don't.
No.
So you don't think it's a mythical sword as well?
No, I don't
think
so.
Well, okay, I think it's
I think
I don't think so.
I think that would be funny for one reason. And that's because it would be even more embarrassing for Kid.
Really? More embarrassing for Kid to lose to a mythical zone?
No, more embarrassing because he didn't use that shit against me.
Bro, you didn't see the anime clip where he had the fucking giant
I did see
bird.
the anime clip. I did. I'm just saying it's like, it ain't in the manga.
Damn.
It's one of those things where obviously it's not a coincidence. They have they're twins, their swords look the same, and one is named Cerberus, one is named Griffin, both named after mythological beasts.
I do think it is the point that they both have that like theming, but one is more literal than the other. Because hockey is literally will. And I think that just shows more about Shanks in comparison to Shamrock. A lot of things... Shamrock is a really cool addition to the series because by his very existence, how he compares to Shanks is characterization for Shanks.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's interesting because for a long time, it was a very popular theory that Shanks was secretly evil.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But now, it's just, Shanks is a genuinely good person. And we know that because he's being contrasted with his brother. And I think what Zenith said is true, where it's like, Shanks' sword is named Griffin, but I don't think Oda's going to reveal that Shanks' sword has the Griffin devil fruit. I think what it's supposed to represent is like, they're so similar in so many regards, but Shanks' power comes from his hockey and his skill. His skill with swordsmanship, his willpower to fight and protect the people he cares about. Whereas Shamrock's power, his sword fights for him. He doesn't even have to fight.
Yeah.
That was a good
I do just want to bring up a comment in our chat. Shamrock can clap, Shanks can't. Clap dift.
Shanks has two ass cheeks, don't he?
What is the sound? Okay.
I forget what you were gonna say.
See, you can ask what is the sound of one hand clapping, but alternatively you can ask what is the sound of one man getting clapped.
Bro, didn't I know we talk about it too much on this podcast. JJK, Toto, a clap comes from the soul, man. That shit comes from within type shit. Or your ass cheeks, either one.
Right.
It's funny because he was lying about that when he said it.
Toto just made up his ability so people would think he was cool. and all the warping around, everyone just became schizo then.
Yeah, he was full of shit when he said that.
You're gonna trust the dude who literally
Hey,
gets
wait, what?
power-ups from like in his make-believe world with his best friend and the idol.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
It's cool. It's
I don't
fun.
know. I don't know if anyone else has said this, but Shamrock is a dumb name. I don't like that name.
Oh, thank fucking
Really?
God! I was
Okay.
going to
Shamrock.
ask like why he's named
So-
that, and I thought it's like,
I have
well,
no idea.
actually, early on
Personally,
we find out that, but okay,
I
so that
would
is
have
just a
named him
bad
Stabs
I-
just for the bit.
I was
heard,
partially
with the
myself.
Trigon.
I was listening to Tekking talk about the chapter, and he mentioned something. He was like, I've never even heard of this before, but people were telling me about like Irish twins, where like people like when you have a child born and then the next child is born like almost immediately, like the year after, like almost on the same day, that's called Irish twins. So maybe that's has something to do with Shamrock's name and like the difference between him and Shanks in age or something like that. He was like, that's literally my only guess. I have no idea. So that's the
think you
closest
could just
interpretation.
say his name is Shamrock because he was lucky to be born as a celestial dragon. Like he got to live the high life.
I guess.
That also
Oh,
works.
I have-
actually, I think that transitioned to the other thing I wanted to bring up. So, Shamrock mentions that
So
Shanks
glad I was
did
a nice
get-
springboard for you.
Thank you. So I appreciate it. But yeah, no. So Shamrock actually did mention that Shanks was brought back to Marie Ijoa at some point, but he ended up leaving regardless. So I'm curious about how that happened. Like, do you think it happened like after Roger was executed? Yeah, I have to imagine that because
It has to have been.
he did say, yeah, no, because like he mentioned it himself as like Shanks decided that he favored the lower world. Oh, so that had to be by this point. Well, at least he's after or even during in his time with Roger.
They're bringing him back to Mary Joie, and they're like, Shanks, my son, it's time for you to finally what the hell happened to your arm?
Who did this to you, son?
Man, I ain't
What
have no
happened to my arm?
lopsided
Who cares what
motherfucker.
happened to my arm? Why do they look like that?
I'm starting to think
Like all of them.
that when Roger disbanded the Roger Pirates, he told something to Shanks, and Shanks started crying, and he like hugged him, and that was the last thing Roger said to Shanks before he left. And we don't know what he said. I'm starting to think maybe he told Shanks about his family,
Oh, that would make a lot of sense.
Makes sense.
and I think
I'm sure
after-
Roger's figured out the deal.
Well, he stole the treasure from the Celestial Dragons. He knew where he got the treasure from.
He knows what's up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
a
honestly,
crazy
it's like-
last thing to whisper before he died, bro. Yo ass
Well-
was a treasure trunk baby.
Well, another thing is like, another thing to consider is like not only did he like steal the treasure from the Celestial Dragons, he has seen Garling. He knows what he looks like. They saw each other.
Yeah.
You look at Shanks and it's like, yeah, that's his kid.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah.
yo, Garling's wife didn't even try, bro. Like them, Garling's genes took over like crazy for both kids. Didn't even try, bro. Garling's
think,
genes just said yes.
I think a very safe for when Shanks went to the Holy Land is after Roger disbanded the crew and before he became an emperor.
I think that's
Right.
fair.
I think it's sometime around there, which is a pretty big gap because he didn't immediately become an emperor.
Yeah, that takes time and
You don't
achievement.
think Shanks could have been the one who was actually at the Reverie? That's been a big thing.
That is a big
So
theory. that
I
don't-
I actually did want to bring that up because if that would actually be just a great fucking twist, actually, like that would be
awesome.
insane. If we are assuming that it was Shamrock at the Reverie, though, what did he want to talk about, right?
Yeah, because his conversation
It was just like
about,
lunch.
a certain pirate.
No, because he says, yeah, it's like I need to talk about a certain pirate, and it's like that
don't
was the
think-
main.
You don't think it could just be Loki? Loki's
I
a
don't
pirate.
think so. Because like
He's
Loki,
like-
How long
Loki
has
is
Loki
a
been chained
pirate.
up?
Yeah, that
'cause
is.
Loki's
a
he's
good
been chained
question.
up for a while.
Loki's been chained up for a while, but he was a pirate.
I guess
Like,
you
he
know
had
I
a
can
bounty
see
and
that
everything.
happening, but
I
I feel like they would have talked
personally-
about it before.
I do not think that I don't think the whole like attack on Elbaf was a premeditated thing. I think this was a very desperate move based on recent events. I think this is an attack that is done as a snap decision because of the stuff that happened at the Reverie, the stuff that's happening with the revolutionaries, the stuff that's happening on Egghead. All of this stuff is making the world's government panic, and they're trying to bolster their forces, and they thought, Elbaf, let's fucking do something with that.
For sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree.
So I have a theory, and I want to be completely straight up before I say this. I don't have a lot of solid evidence for this. So this theory is supported by vibes.
All right.
Okay. I respect
we're
your
all
vibes.
about here
I
on the
don't need
podcast.
evidence.
Oh,
I just
oh.
need vibes.
The agenda will agenda.
I want to make it clear that if this theory does not come true, I am not going to sit here and fight for it. Like I'll let it die. I think Loki and Harden's father, King Harald, was actually working with the world government.
Oh,
Okay.
I
And
think Harald was. I don't know about Loki, but I definitely think they were.
No, I think Harald was, and I think Loki figured it out, and that's why he killed him.
I agree.
Oh, I actually like that a lot.
yeah,
I
no,
think-
because that makes sense. Like everyone was talking about how Harold was wanting to expand to the outside world. Oh, like you would have to interact with the world government for that. And there's no way around that fact.
Okay, so this is because I have a lot of like circumstantial evidence. So there's like a couple things.
Okay,
There's
this is
reasons-
no longer vibes based now that we're agreeing.
No,
It's
it
still
is
vibes based.
because my evidence isn't like none of my evidence actually points to him being a traitor. It's just like I think it could connect.
The vibes of the circumstance.
So for
Right.
one, what do we? This goes back a while, so just stick with me here. Let me cook.
Okay.
We learn in Big Mom's flashback that Mother Caramel was living on Elbaf, and she was a slave trader, and she was secretly taking in orphan giants and orphan kids and selling them to the government. The government has been trying to obtain giant soldiers for a long time, for a very long time. They've been trying to recreate giants through like science. We learned that from, Kaido's flashback and the Vegapunk stuff. And then we know through Big Mom's flashback
Caesar
that they were
too.
buying giants, giant children, giant orphans from Elbaf. And I think Shamrock in their plan, I agree with Zenith. I think Zenith is correct. I think that this is their final last-ditch effort in a long line of failures to obtain Elbaf as their soldiers, to basically own Elbaf and use the giants however they please.
Right.
Because the giants, even though the giants, they are fodder, they are powerful fodder. They are, in terms of fodder, they are the best you can get.
They've been
It's
hyped
like-
up throughout the series too.
If the world government's willing to have random ass Marines, they're willing to have random ass giants.
The giants are powerful. There's a reason why for so long they've been unconquerable. No one has been able to take them over. And like that's the thing with like Wano, where it's like, oh my god, the samurai are so strong. They got conquered.
Yeah.
Try to take them over. Yeah, that never happened with Elbaf. Like Elbaf has been, autonomous this entire time.
Yeah.
And a lot of this rhetoric that we see with the younger children in Elbaf, we learn through like Saul and all this that the younger kids in Elbaf are starting to get away from the warrior traditions of the past. They're not as violent or, war hungry as the older giants. And Saul and the rest of them see it as a good thing because, you don't want to be fighting all the time.
Yeah.
But I actually think that there's another way to look at it. I think it's good for the future that the giants are leaving their warlike ways in the past. But it's also making them way weaker and open to being attacked. Because one of the reasons why they were so unfuckwittable is because they were so powerful and they were so war hungry. No one could fuck with them.
Yeah.
And I think this this ideology change is weakening them. And I think this attack by Shamrock is a result of that. And I think it all started with Harold. It all goes back to Harold. And I think he's the one that planted this idea. We learned that. He's the one that, like, he wanted to open up Elbaf to the rest of the world. He wanted to kind of get away from the warrior-like ways. That's why he cut off his horns, to, like, symbolize that he is not a beast.
Yeah.
I don't believe that Harold had no idea Mother Karma was selling giant children to the world government.
Yeah, no way.
I think a big thing is I actually really like your theory about the king, because that fits in really well with so far the themes of Elbaf, which is this sort of complicated understanding of Nika. Because Nika has a very split perception. He is a warrior or a bringer of joy. And we've talked about this before on the podcast, but he's really both. He fights, he is a warrior, but he only fights for people to liberate them. And I think if you're right, that really fits with the themes, because that would mean King Harold was trying to find peace for his people. He didn't want them to be under threat. He wanted them to live a peaceful, war-free life. But he was willing to sort of stomach a wee bit of subjugation to achieve that.
Yeah, I do want to point that out. I don't think Harold was, like,
evil. I don't think he was evil.
No.
Yeah, he wanted peace and was willing to do that.
I do not think Harold was evil. Let me 100%. He is not evil. I think he was willing to work with the government. He was willing to sell his soul to the devil for what he believed was the greater good. He wanted, to join the rest of the world.
That's going to be the point of Luffy in this arc, showing that when you fight for the right reason, it's not a bad thing.
Right. So again, it all comes down on perception and on how people view you. You're either going to be a savior or a destroyer.
Yeah, I mean that's
literally the
Fishman
whole point
Island,
of
bro.
Luffy.
That's been a thing since Fishman Island. Yeah.
Well, I
should have said savior and destroyer. That's my bad for phrasing it that way.
And there's I have more to it. There's another reason why I believe. There's more reasons why I believe all this. There are two key characters that I think are very, very central to this theme, this plot, and their connection to Luffy. It's Haruden and Loki.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
The
I actually explained this stuff last podcast because we talked about it.
Yeah, you got it. So,
we filled in for you.
We covered that one.
So yeah, Haruden represents the weak but kind future of Elbaf. Haruden is understanding, but he's weak. And Loki is powerful, but he's cold. And I think only by bridging the gap between these two brothers... Yeah. Right. Only by bridging the gap between these two brothers working together is what's going to allow Elbaf to succeed, to beat this threat. And I think Luffy will be the bridge. He will be the one that leads to their mutual understanding.
Because they are essentially two halves of what Luffy represents. The kindness and compassion and the charisma, and the warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool.
Yeah. No, I like this theory. I do.
I also I'm into it. I like it because it's kind of like a contrast from Wano, where it's just like opening up the world from the outside. That's like, nah, that's like our goal, because like we're trying to keep everything constrained here, but our goal is to open up Wano's borders and we can have more days of peace and blah 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 blah. Whereas like in Elbaf, it's just like, yeah, we tried to open it up, but was that really the right thing to do? Like, maybe we should have just stayed to our own little world here. And I think it's an interesting dilemma that could end with like, hey guys, like it's okay to like reach out. We just have to, we don't have to be fucking crazy, but we can just stand up for what we believe in, but also be kind.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, man.
Well, that's another thing is another reason why I think it'll be Loki and Harden joining forces, them teaming up, that will allow them to obtain victory. And that understanding is, historically, when you look at the Elbaf giant pirates, it is a pirate crew that is like, that title is passed down generation to generation. And one thing you'll notice is, so in Big Mom's flashback, we meet the two greatest warriors of the land. It's the two, like Fallbeard and the other guy, I think is like the two old men. They were pirate captains together. And then we already knew about Dory and Broggy. The giant pirates are historically a 2-captain crew.
Yeah.
There's always 2 of them. But Haruden's giant pirates is just himself. So I think by the end, Loki and Harden will be the 2 captains of the new giant pirates.
And that will specifically be a part. That's actually so funny, because this might entirely backfire on the world government, because it'll just unite like these 2 captains under Luffy in his grand fleet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, fuck. Wouldn't be the first time.
Now they're
that
gonna
the
have to
world
fight the
government's hubris has fucked
giants.
them. Yep.
I think that could be a really cool way to like tie this together, is just having Loki recognize Luffy as Nika and as the sun god, and them both being sort of having that loyalty. I think that could be really cool.
That could absolutely launch them into just like, fuck it, everyone's gotta die now territory too, because this is their last option.
By the way, I do want to mention, someone's mentioned this in the chat a couple times, and it's that there is a summon portal in the throne room, and that is rather suspicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that's...
Yeah.
No, I definitely
Why
think
is
Haru
that
was working
there?
with the government.
I think that's a really good theory, actually.
Yeah.
I'm convinced, and I think that just fits with everything about
Probably
the
should
story
talk
so
about
far.
this somewhere else. Why? Because of the giant summoning portal. Yeah, the summoning portal. Yeah.
and I think what it's going to be like, what it's going to be is like Loki. I think Loki found out that his father was working for the government, or his father revealed it to him.
Maybe neither, and he was just going on a vibes-based decision.
The vibes.
But
I mean, he does kind of seem like the type.
Bro said, game recognized game, and you looking mighty unfamiliar right now.
A vibes-based theory, if you will.
This is something that Oda. This is like a trope that Oda really likes, and a lot of characters in One Piece do this. Odin, Luffy, Zoro, all of the quote-unquote manly, respectable warrior-type characters do this. They will have a perception, and they will not try to fight it. They will just be like, if that's what you think, then that's what it is. I think Loki, because Loki has been known as the Cursed Prince since he was a kid. Loki has always been a troubled child. He's always been kind of a, troublemaker. And I think
prankster.
I think Loki probably did love his dad, and when he found out about the government, whatever happened, Loki, I think, did kill his dad. Like, I think he did do it. I think he was justified in doing it, but I think he did do it. And instead of fighting the allegations like, well, I had a good reason, I think he just fully embraced, like, I'm Loki, I'm evil. I think he just let it be. And I think partial of the reason was to protect his father's reputation, because he knew everyone loved Harold. Harold was a king that was beloved by everyone. And if they all found out that their king was selling them out to the government, that would, like, really fuck everyone up. So I think he just let the blame sit on him.
That's a good way to look at it.
That would be sick.
Yeah. Damn, bro. Damn. Yeah. I mean, that would be something too, because that kind of goes back to the whole sun god comparison, because everyone else is like, Loki, this kid's a demon. No, we're not fucking with him. But when he was talking with one of his friends, he's like, oh, thank you so much, Loki. You're so kind. So, like, already there's that different perception of, like, him around the island.
Yeah.
But Loki has to be a good person, because Luffy has never been, like, wrong
So
about
true.
like people's vibes.
That is
like
very
Luffy,
true. Yeah,
Luffy
Luffy is a
himself.
very vibes guy. So
He is a vibes-based dude who's
he is
never
king
wrong.
vibes. Yeah.
Vibe
King fucking
TSA.
vibes.
It's
Yeah.
unfortunate that, none of this is going to actually happen because he died this chapter.
Yeah,
It's over.
It's a shame that all our theories are just shot to hell because he just got stabbed to death here.
Yeah, he's just cooked.
That is
Right.
a crazy ass fucking sword, dude. Like, what the
Dude,
hell?
Oh yeah.
that is so cool. I'm just saying, bro had to cheat for the 3-sword style, you know?
It's
Yeah, no,
No.
I was
Zoro,
literally about to bring that up
get
next. It's
up,
like,
bro.
Zoro, someone
no,
is
Zoro
yeah,
versus
Whoa, man.
Shamrock.
Somebody is taking your chain right now, Zoro. How will you respond?
Oh my god, he
I
has
think
two
it's
of them.
so
It's the
funny
6-sword
because-
style.
I mean, I'm just saying, there's already more for this than, you know, ZKK ever had.
I think
I don't think Zoro's gonna fight. I do think this is Luffy's fight. I want to make clear.
yeah,
but I think
it's pretty obvious. It would be really strange if Luffy wasn't the one that defeats Shamrock.
bro,
but I'm gonna
Gunko
be
is
honest-
right there for his fight. What do you mean? Not going.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Like, yeah, Shamrock is Luffy's fight. I really want to see Loki fight Shamrock. I really want to see Loki get his fucking.
I want him to get his run back. Yeah.
Yeah,
His
yeah,
licks in.
fucking. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Type shit,
Yes.
type shit.
Well, it sucks
so-
because he's dead now. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah.
Rest in piss, fake ass.
That's
shit.
crazy.
It's funny because it's like there's. Here's the thing: there might be some very clever way that he survived. The answer's gonna be that he just did.
yeah, he just did.
He just
Yeah.
did. And
This
like,
was One Piece.
Have you guys ever
He's just built
considered
different.
willpower?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with some of the characters we
mean-
talk about, yeah.
Hey, honestly, we don't know what the sacred devil fruit he has does. So like,
It don't matter. It ain't doing shit right now.
yeah, no, he didn't see stone chains. It's like the devil fruit ain't saving him.
Amen, 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 amen.
Bro,
You
it's
never
the
know.
it's the fruit that makes him stronger when he's chained up.
You never know.
Little did they know.
Sleeping Danger talking about some damn walk with me here. Eustace Kid versus Sham Wow. Get your ass out of here.
Can I be honest with y'all? I forgot Kid was gonna be an Elbaf.
Okay, I love this fight. Shamrock isn't Zoro's fight. His sword is.
Shit.
Which would actually, honestly, that could work.
Odin,
Like,
give me the
genuinely?
power. This is Shamrock's sword we're fighting
Sword.
against.
Did we beat him?
Here's
No,
like
that was
memes
just a
aside.
sword.
No.
Memes aside, that would actually be cool.
Oh my god. It would be
Would
pretty
it?
cool.
Okay, look, I imagine that. Look, I really do want to see Zoro at least spar with Shamrock for a little bit. Like, he's not obviously going to be the one who defeats Shamrock, but I at least want to see them go at it.
Well, how convenient, because this is a series built out of
Amen,
altercations.
amen, Zoro. Zoro, all I'm saying, if you really the king of hell, your guard dog's right over there, nigga.
Yeah,
Go get
dog.
your chain back. That's all I'm saying. Go get your chain back. That's all
If
I'm
Zoro
saying.
gets the sword, he'll have 5-sword style.
Type shit, type shit.
That's true.
Sailor, trust me, invest. I don't know, man. I just don't think I can. I just don't think I can on this one, bro. But I hope you get rich, brother. I hope you get rich.
And when you do, I hope you donate it to us.
I forgot
You know-
who sent it earlier, but it was just like, oh right, it was Taco who said like, oh, if your goat ate here, I guess he's not important to the story. And one of them was fucking Shamrock now, and most of the comments were like, he just showed up. What do you mean?
He's losing this arc, bro.
Amen. Amen. Zoro beat a cat last arc, now a dog. He did not beat a cat last arc. Don't lie on Rob Gucci. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
So-
he had an altercation with a cat.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
he had a run in with Rob.
He had a
Gucci.
little argument.
He had a run in with Rob Gucci. That's about it. That's about it.
What's crazy is we've been talking for a while. We haven't even gotten.
I was about to say. So we've
Oh
To the
my
spent,
actual,
God.
like,
I was
I'm
gonna
happy
say-
to go to the mural, by the way,
we've
'cause I had.
we've spent
so
45
much
minutes
to
on the first 2 pages. How we feeling?
All right, you know, fuck the other pages. Let's go to the mural.
Oh,
Well-
yeah. Well, wait.
Oh.
Before we get to the mural, I just want to say I think it
Oh,
was
what do you want to say?
I think it was really funny when Ripley was holding Frankie like an action figure. That's about
Dude,
it.
that shit's
Fuck
funny.
you,
Well,
we're gonna talk
another-
about her. I knew
another-
you.
Wait a minute, bro.
I do want to bring it up, and what I'm about to say is not original at all. Everyone has said this, but I do think it's worth saying.
Okay.
When Luffy's talking to the Giants and they're like, Shanks kicked their ass, and he's like, well, he wouldn't do that. Luffy mentions it's like, oh well, Shanks is like, I imagine his family was just the Roger Pirates or whatever, and then it shows that guy.
The man.
Oh, I wanted to talk
Flames,
about that.
presumably.
Yeah, actually,
it shows.
great.
So that guy, now it's just fully confirmed, because before we got like his silhouette, so we couldn't know. But now that we see him, this is the guy from the cover story we see drinking with Crocus.
Yep.
Okay.
This guy is definitely a member of the Roger Pirates.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I
I think it's got to be Scopper. Yeah.
think it's Scomper Gavon. Like I don't know who else it could be.
Yeah, it's got to be him, especially because Luffy was talking about, like, yeah, Shanks' family, the Roger Pirates. Yeah, I feel like they know Shanks pretty well. So, like, yeah.
Okay,
Scopper
not,
can come
I
in.
also
We had to clarify that.
I really like just the trust, because he's just like, yeah, it wasn't him. All right, so assuming it wasn't him.
Yeah, I love that because I'm so happy. Like, they're just like, huh.
Yeah,
Like there wasn't
right.
like an argument about it. It's just like, okay, it wasn't him. Fair enough.
Because they're just like, shit, nigga, you got me, I guess. Like,
I-
that makes sense.
I think this would be really cool because it's a gag with Luffy. This is a running gag that whenever he sees people that look somewhat similar, he'll confuse them. Like when he saw Kaku, he was like Usopp, and Usopp's standing.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really cool when he sees Shamrock, who is identical to Shanks. He is immediately like, "You're not Shanks." He can just tell.
aren't you?
I
Just
agree
like-
exactly what's gonna go down.
Just
Yeah.
pure vibes. Like, you're not Shanks.
You're
I think
not
that would be really cool.
Bro,
That was-
I literally just want the page to just be Luffy saying "you're not him," so I can use that under every response post.
Yeah.
You're not him.
But yeah, the Stopper Gabon thing isn't revolutionary, but I did
Yeah.
feel like it was mentioned. It was worth bringing up.
Absolutely.
I also thought it was neat how Luffy tried to remember Bellamere, and he's like, "Well, wouldn't you be mad if someone was talking about her?" And like, Nami corrected him obviously, but I was like, "Oh, that's cool that Luffy like at least fucking tried to remember."
Well, one cool detail about that specifically that Archer brought up when I was watching his video was what this proves is that the crew, Luffy fell asleep, or I can't remember, did he fall asleep or he just walked away when Nojiko told them about Nami's backstory? I think he just
Probably fell
left.
asleep.
He fell asleep.
He fell asleep.
Yeah, he fell asleep.
So Luffy, by the end of Arlong Park, did not know who Bellamere was.
Yeah, you don't give a shit.
So what that proves is that later Nami did just tell Luffy about her mom,
Oh.
and he did
a little bit.
kind of remember it. Well, because I like it because that's like one of the things people say is like, "Oh my god, I hate that the Straw Hats don't talk to each other." Well, it's like they do. It's just not that
It's not on
important.
screen.
Yeah, like it's just not going to show Nami reiterating her fucking backstory. But clearly, she did tell him about it.
Yeah. So okay. I guess we'll skip over the pages for now. If we want to come back to something, we can.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things to go back
right.
to, but I feel like
Yeah.
we gotta talk. Now, it should be worth mentioning. There's been a lot of talk about just translation
What
and
they talk
stuff.
about?
I
What they
actually
talk about,
sent something to the chat where it was Ardor giving like a very literal translation of everything.
Yes, there have been
about the exact wording and stuff. So we'll do our best to talk about everything that we know of. Obviously,
It is
Right.
presented. It is presented in very metaphorical, like poetic Japanese. So it's people are trying to figure out
Yeah,
exactly
it's complicated.
what is the literal translation, and then you have to consider, is the literal translation even the way we're supposed to understand it?
yeah.
Like it's hard to know.
So I do think obviously go world by world, but I think the one thing I really want to get into is the first world, of course, but what it was like.
Right.
Not just what it was saying, because within the earth there was fire. That's actually very different from the fan translations before, by the way.
Way different. Yeah.
Because there just is fire in the earth, or a hot core. But I don't think that's what it's talking about. And Taco, me and him were talking about this a lot. We think that the energy, that the fire in the earth, and also what the mother flame is just nuclear power.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
no.
genuinely just, I mean, I guess
Yeah,
same thing. I just
Like-
thought this was the mother flame. Like, that's all it was. It's just the mother flame.
Yeah, no,
Because
exactly. Like, I
if
completely
you
agree.
Look at the mural. That is just a modern civilization. Like, that is...
Exactly.
I don't think it's going to be a twist where it's like, the One Piece world used to be our world. I don't think that's going to be the case.
No,
But I
yeah.
do think it will be a world that is very recognizable to us.
Mhm.
And some shit went down. Now, obviously, and you can have a lot of different opinions on what the world was like. You could say maybe it was a very different world because it talks about like the enslaved and all that stuff, like what kind of culture was going on, depending on how you interpret some of these lines. But I do think it was just a very modern world with a lot of modern problems. And then there was the sun god appeared, which, by the way, the sun god appeared before devil fruits were a thing. Because the devil fruits, as far as I can tell from what
They
is
were
happening
second
here,
world.
that is a second world creation.
Which makes sense because, like, that's the whole thing of devil fruits, where you dream, like, enough people dream up something and then it becomes a fruit. So, like, obviously it had to come from somewhere in order for people to believe in the sun god to make it a fruit.
But the way this says is the sun god appeared, the earth god raged, and with its serpent of hellfire shrouded the world in death and darkness. Okay. How literal are we supposed to take that? Because
I
it's
think
like...
very, I'm not gonna lie.
Because I think, like, the earth god, right? I think that is Emu, personally.
I agree.
Yeah, no.
And Emu presumably has a devil fruit. Unless Emu doesn't have a devil fruit and they're just built like that. Unless that is just like a whole other thing.
He's a fucking creature.
He's just a creature. Which, hey, that's possible. I mean, devil fruit's gotta come from somewhere. But we'll get to that. The Serpent of Hellfire. The Serpent of Hellfire is so funny because I've seen a lot of people talk about who that's supposed to represent or who even has the devil fruit for the Serpent of Hellfire. I've seen two specific theories that I think are really funny. The first one is Loki because of that like banded pattern across. Looks very similar to the banded pattern on the giant on the left of the mural that I think a lot of people, myself included, assume is Loki. The other one is the X's going down him, which just looks like Dragon's tattoo. So I saw a post about that at some point. There's been a lot of theorizing.
Yeah, I've seen people even saying that the Serpent of Fire is like the red line, and like them going in depth
Yeah,
on
because they
that.
do call it.
I
Like,
have seen
the
that
Great
a bit,
Serpent.
too.
That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah, no, there was that video I
Giants
sent to
called it.
chat. Well, I mean, yeah, no, because I don't know if you saw like the video I sent in the chat a few days ago. There was like this one video that I put out like a year ago. Oh, it was from crap, I'm blanking on the name.
Mr.
Morge.
Morge.
Yeah, Mr. Morge. Or it's like thinking like it was about the Jormungandr or devil fruit, how that could be a representation of either Emu's power or the red line itself. Well, because it's the serpent that literally encircles the world.
encircles the world. I don't dislike that idea. Absolutely.
My personal theory right now, what I think the Serpent of Hellfire is, I personally believe the Serpent of Hellfire is the ancient weapon Uranus.
I was gonna bring that up because
Really?
three monsters, three ancient weapons.
I did
makes
want to bring
sense.
that up, actually. Yes,
It makes
I
a
think
lot of
that's-
sense. Yeah.
And it's specifically, if we're going with the god of the land being Emo, and the land is abundant with this flame, it's like, okay, Emu, the god of the land, with the Hellfire Serpent, basically destroyed everything and killed everyone. And now, 900 years later or whatever, he all of a sudden is using Uranus again because he has access to the Mother Flame again because Vegapunk recreated
Yeah.
it. It's like, I think that is what I think that's what it is.
I was gonna say too, with how advanced civilization appeared to be back then, it wouldn't be surprised if he made a Doofenshmirtz ass like delete everyone in Aether, and then that was just an ancient weapon.
Split the world in Aether.
Yeah.
And yes, and I think the idea that the Mother Flame is like nuclear fusion is actually a very possible theory, because what we see is this giant ship, like so big that there is a ship within the ship. Actually, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And what you see, these people carrying like these bursts of energy or something. And the stars in the sky are represented by the same shape, and stars are just like things of nuclear fusion.
Yes.
So
I can't confirm that.
I think that's you could very much read it that way. Another interesting, I don't know how to interpret, one line for sure, is the Earth God raged, and with its serpent of hellfire. Now, this is interesting because I don't think I've seen a lot of people talk about that line. I think Arter mentioned that the Earth, with its like serpent of hellfire, isn't exactly accurate. Maybe I'm misremembering, but it doesn't seem like it's a possessive. Like, I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure. Especially since if we interpret the like dragon thing in the middle as the Earth God, maybe they seem in conflict specifically. So the Serpent of Hellfire was in conflict with something because they're like blasting fire at each other. I'm really not quite sure how to interpret a lot of that stuff with the serpent. Honestly, I feel like I have a decent handle on a lot of stuff going on here. The serpent throws me off.
I looked at the monster coming from the tree to be the god of the forest, because in the second world it was like, hey, it tamed its demons, and then the sun spread the fires of war. With this, like, sort of combating the serpent of fire in the previous, that was from the previous world that kind of carried over to the second world, and, you know, the remnants of that. I think it kind of matches up with that, with the inventions of devil fruits and stuff.
Do you guys, like, if someone was listening to us who had no, like, understanding of One Piece, they would think we're so fucking insane right now?
Yeah.
Well, as someone who can provide that perspective.
Yeah, you know what? Think about
Okay, well, actually, Sky, I think this is actually perfect, because this is something I just realized. Like, with all this theorizing about how the world may have previously been more modern, like our own, like, okay, so does this make you think of Fire Force in any way? I'm curious.
It did occur to me, but not in any like meaningful sense.
Don't worry, guys. If you need somebody to act out the role of the ignorant bystander,
we're talking. Well, I mean, hey, look, if you want to think of it, it's basically Fire Force. Think of it like that, Sky.
I'm good.
Sitting here and I'm like, yeah, guys, it's the red line. It's a snake, obviously.
Later, and even years later, Taco's going to ask you the question of, do you know how the world was formed in One Piece? And you're going to say no. And he's going to go on this whole conversation again.
When I'm genuinely curious, and don't embellish it. Like, if you genuinely felt nothing, just say that. When you read this final mural, what did you think? What was your, like, reaction?
It was... I think my reaction was that a lot of this was cool, and it's like, because there are things that I can recognize. Like, you see the fucking the robot from Egghead on like the left half of it, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And to me, the ships that we see, it's like, oh, okay, so those are the giants. But for the most part, I thought, I can't wait to have this explained during the podcast.
Okay, that's
like,
makes sense. Yeah,
just truly, because like I can have ideas, but the problem is that my ideas are worthless because they aren't couched in facts from the series.
Mm.
Because anything I can say where it's like, oh, okay, so like it was just like the modern world beforehand, it's like, okay, well, that could also just be like they had, tall buildings, but I don't know about like modern world.
There's also just a spaceship in the bottom right corner of the mural.
Is there? I can't see it.
It looks like a spaceship.
Yeah, and those
next
like
to the gears and cogs and stuff.
yeah, the
Oh,
gears
that.
and cogs. And the levers.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, I
little
see it.
Thing,
I
yeah.
thought it was just like something else. Okay.
What a fun game of I Spy.
Well, one thing I wanted to point out, and like surprisingly, I haven't seen that many people point this out. If you look on the right side of the mural, where the serpent and that like
The fire.
dragon thing
Yeah.
are like blowing
Yeah,
fire at
underneath
each other.
The moon.
Yeah, underneath the moon, there's
Maxim.
that's the Arc Maxim.
Yeah.
Like that
With,
is
like lightning and everything.
that is
Yep.
that is just the Arc Maxim. Like it has the
100%.
fucking, it has the paddles, it has lightning shooting out of it and all that. And I think this is something that I think people, it's one of those things that it was a question, but people didn't like it, just kind of people forgot about it. But it's like, how did NL like build that?
And the answer is he did.
He's the kami.
Because we know how he built it. He used the resources and the the people that worked for Gonfall. I forget their names. The knights or whatever. He used them as a labor force to build it. But like, how did he come up with the idea? How did he have the blueprints? Well, I think the answer is the Arc Maxim is actually an ancient piece of technology. And we see in the mural in the bottom by the ship that looks like the Noah, we see an angel standing next to it. So obviously the Sky people have been around since the Third World, and NL is Birkin, and he took over Burka, killed everyone, and then came to Skypiea and took over. I think most likely the Arc Maxim was a piece of technology that the Birkins had, like they had the blueprints to it, or they knew about it, and he somehow found out about it and then decided to recreate it. And it's like that again, that's something that like we kind of just didn't think about. Like, how did he do that? But now the answer seems pretty obvious. It's like, yeah, it was an ancient piece of technology that he recreated.
That's a good example of like what we were talking about last night with like how is Impel Down built, and it's something that you technically it can have an explanation, but just the way One Piece is written, it doesn't need one.
Yes.
How did they build the prison?
Right.
They built it. But it will provide one eventually. So like, how did he come up with the Arc Maxim? He didn't.
Yeah, he just
Oh yeah.
stole the idea, basically.
And the only real advantage he has was he could power it himself.
Yes.
Because I would
Right,
imagine
and then-
it was originally powered with the Mother Flame.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or nuclear power.
Probably.
Probably. And then I'd also like to take the chance to point out that literally directly below that we have of Noah. Like that's literally just Noah right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that is just the
for
Noah.
sure. Yeah.
With
And then
some
directly above
sky
them is
person
probably
there.
Emu. I want to guess that figure up there is Emu, who directly above it.
The king. Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
crown.
Maybe.
I'm
I think
thinking so. Yeah.
possible. Although I do think also the figure on the far left, like the demon-looking dude, I think that is just Emu as well.
Oh
I
yeah,
hope
for sure.
Emu has been around since like forever. So they were around when the world was more technologically advanced. So they're walking around being like, "Why the fuck are our phones snails?"
Yeah, you think they miss computers?
I hate this time.
Bro,
The
why do you
phone
think he
skills-
lives up in the Holy Land, bro? He's like, I cannot be like you broke niggas, bro. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Let me ask you. Okay, Sky, I have a question for you.
Oh god.
So, one of the things we do know about Emu is that he had some type of, I'm going to say relationship. I'm not implying it was romantic at all, but he had a connection with Nefertari.
Lily, right?
Lily? Yeah, Vivi's ancestor, Lily, who was one of the 20 kingdoms. She was the queen of the king of Alabasta, and she betrayed him, and she's the one that joined the other side, and it's her fault that the poneglyphs made it out to the rest of the world. Basically, she kept the dream alive. And when he finds out about that, he gets really upset because he's like, tell me what he tells Cobra, like, tell me what she said, and he's like, oh, her name was D, Lily D Nefertari or whatever, and then he stabs Cobra. We see a panel of Emu looking at a portrait of Lily. He has a framed portrait of Lily on the wall, and she just looks like Vivi.
Right, yeah.
Why do you think he has a framed portrait of her on his wall?
Nigga reminiscing about a bitch from a
Down
million years ago.
bad.
Because this is the two
Atrocious,
options.
you could even say.
Because I think it depends what you think is funnier. It's either he really loved her and he is upset that she betrayed him and he cannot let it go, or he is the biggest hater alive and he has enshrined her image on his fucking wall, so he wakes up every day with fresh hatred.
See, that's a real
Maybe
hater,
it's
not
both.
like that bum Chihiro.
I can't put into words how desperately I hope it's the second, because I'll be so disappointed if it's the first.
It's the first.
If he just
I
loved
know
her.
it's the first. Yeah, because it is the first. Like, there
You broke my heart. I'm breaking the world.
Yeah, because that's like a...
No,
Because why-
Emu's an incel. No.
Yeah, 'cause, like, why did she...
I
how did
knew
she
it.
survive? You know, like, Emu would have just killed her, would have just wiped fucking the Nefertari, maybe even, like, Alabasta off the map, if it was not that, if he just hated her. But man, the other option is so funny. Just the idea that it's like, oh, and by the way, Saturn, did you scrub the Lily portrait? Yes, sir, we had it cleaned and trimmed earlier, and good. I hate that bitch. gotta make sure it's pristine and her ethereal beauty is maintained forever, so I can keep hating her.
Sometimes I show up to
Oh,
Alabasta just to make sure that bitch is dead.
Now, I actually do. I want to talk about the second world a little bit, because I think it is the most interesting part of this mural, actually.
Okay.
So it is the most simple, but I think it has like some of the most interesting implications about the series and its lore, because one, within the void there was breath. I think that's a pretty straightforward line. Me and Taka talked about this a little bit, but it's just like shit was bad, but people were still living. Like, we're good. You know, there was still hope, there was still breath, there was still life. The forest god tamed demons is very clearly the creation of devil fruits. You know, the fruits all have a devil in them, supposedly. Like, that's like the folklore, the superstition.
Fruits come from a tree. They come
Yes.
from the forest. The
They
forest god
come-
created. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, and specifically, now obviously, me and Taka do not believe this is a god. It was very likely a scientist, considering that they're very magical in nature, but they're really just super advanced genetic science.
No, brother, this
At the
guy's
end of the
Doctor
day.
Strange.
What?
I don't recall Doctor Strange doing genetics.
Oh, God, bro.
He was a fucking neurosurgeon.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, like,
I know what
don't
you
think
mean,
this
but
is
you're wrong
magic, it's
anyway.
Science, and then it's just
'Cause
like
it
he
is.
learns to believe in magic. That's the whole fucking thing. Never
No,
mind.
It's
You
not,
niggas
but
are
it's not
broke.
magic. It
Never
isn't
mind.
magic.
You niggas are broke, bro. Go ahead, continue.
Bro, I have to I have to have that same attitude when I fumble a bit. Y'all are broke.
Y'all are broke,
You
bro.
guys are broke. I'm the smart
I'm
one.
gonna keep that in my back
I
pocket.
don't give a
Anyways,
fuck.
because
Go
that's
ahead.
the cool thing with Egghead is, or not just Egghead, but like Vegapunk was able to make devil fruits, like recreate devil fruits purely through scientific means. So and there's a whole thing where it's like, what is it, the lineage factor that they were studying? So it's all just genetic manipulation at the end of the day. Like, yeah, it's magical in terms of result, but at the end of the day, like, even something as insane as the light fruit is a matter of eating a fruit that changes your genetics, basically.
It is.
And that's
It
the
is
whole
such
thing with-
It is such an advanced form of science that it appears magical. And it's it's not real. It's unrealistic. But I think ultimately it is just a type of science. They make devil fruits in a lab.
Yes. Now, I do want to let Taco explain this one, the part with the half moon and the moon. I would like you to explain that part, if that's all right.
Right.
I think the most popular I believe the most popular theory right now is that the people of the Half Moon are the D Clan.
That makes sense. Yeah, I thought Kozuki at first, and then I was.
Yeah, no, I was confused by that one for a while too. But honestly, the D Clan actually would make a lot more sense in this case.
Makes sense,
especially when you get to the third world.
Because specifically, what we're talking about is the second world. It's within the void. There's breath, the force god thing, demons, yada yada. The sun spread the fires of war. So Joy Boy, who by this time ate the Nika Devil Fruit, he started a war. He was the first pirate. And he started a war against Emo.
Yeah.
And it says, those of the Half Moon dreamed, those of the moon dreamed. I think what that is those of the Half Moon. Now, I have nothing to back this up. I personally believe the people of the D Clan, those of the Half Moon, were Joy Boy's crewmates. They were his direct subordinates, his direct.
Not just like the D Clan in general?
Well, you could argue that everyone descended from those crewmates are the D Clan, and that's why the D Clan is spread around so much. I like that theory a lot. I've heard it elsewhere too.
I think when Joy Boy died, or when he lost, he disbanded his crew, very similar to the way Roger did, and they added the initial of D to their name to keep his will alive and pass it on through the generations. So Saul, Law, Luffy, etc., their ancestors were members of his crew.
Okay. I see what you mean.
They have since forgotten the meaning, which Emu says. He's like, they don't even understand what
you niggas don't even know what this means no more.
Yeah, now they have forgotten the meaning of it, but they have passed it down. They have done what they were supposed to do.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, I really like that theory. I think it actually is just the case. But that's not, like, super important to the rest of the mural, you know? Because at the end of the day, the whole point is the Half Moon dreamed, probably the D Clan, but whatever. A group that dreamed against Emu's reign, or you know... And then the full moon, I think you can just take that as, like, their influence spread. Whether that's their full alliance or whatever, like, cool, their influence spread, others dreamed. The whole point is, devil fruits were made, and the sun spread the fires of war. So, Joy Boy started his fight for liberation because of whatever conditions were going on at the time. He became the first pirate and did his thing. This is the part that's really interesting, and I think you could read this in a lot of ways, but I do think there is a way that is going to be the case. Man killed the sun and became God, and the sea god stormed, and they will never meet. Now, man killed the sun and became God, and the sea god stormed. The sea god is... Now, you can connect that to, like, Poseidon, but I think this actually is connected to something very different. I think... The sea god stormed is specifically devil fruits becoming weak to the ocean. And the reason I think this is because this is a part of the second world when devil fruits were created. And it shows man killed the sun and became God. What does that mean? Well, obviously man killed the sun is these, Emu and his people killed Joy Boy.
Yeah.
And you could say that they became God, so they, ascended to godhood. They put themselves in Mary Jo and, became the peak of the world. I don't think that's just the case. Because logistically, how would a bunch of normal-ass people be able to fight against such powerful people? Like, Joy Boy had a very diverse crew. And the one thing to remember is there's a lot of just races in One Piece that just have straight up superpowers. And humanity is not one of them.
Right.
So I think the way that Emu won, that Emu was able to defeat Joy Boy and his crew and his alliance, was a monopoly over devil fruits. And this monopoly allowed them to topple the world and to take that power. And I specifically think that because, one, this took place in the second world when devil fruits were created, supposedly. And it specifically says man killed the sun and became God, and the sea gods stormed. So I think what happened was sequentially, Joy Boy started his path to liberation. He started his war, became the first pirate. He inspired others, gathered a crew. This inspired further people and created the Alliance. Man, specifically the humans that eventually created the world's government and became the Celestial Dragons, they monopolized devil fruits. They killed a Joy Boy through this power and essentially became God. And someone somehow triggered some kind of failsafe or some kind of effect that made devil fruit users weak to the ocean, so that monopoly would not make them as powerful anymore.
I agree. I definitely thought that this meant that the ocean was like, all right, y'all are doing too much, like kind of like punishing, sort of like what Emu did, presumably Emu did in the first world, where he was just like, whatever power y'all are taking from, whether it be mother flame, nuclear fission, whatever, y'all are doing too much. Y'all gotta go. So I thought it could be similar to like a pattern repeating itself here, where now it's the sea that are just like, all right, y'all are doing too much. We have to implement some new rules and restrictions here. So I thought that was the case. I just wasn't sure how.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think it makes sense for devil fruits to be initially created with that weakness.
I agree.
But I think that makes a lot of sense if the Celestial Dragons World Government, they were using devil fruits as their main source of power against an immensely powerful alliance. And so someone somehow implemented that weakness as a way to fight back.
Because the entire thing was like giving devil fruits out to the people to seemingly fight back. So like now if there's like a whole like horde on them, it's just like, it makes sense if like another god was like, okay, y'all gotta chill, man. We gotta do something about these.
Another thing I wanna go back to, because Sailor like casually brought it up, but I think he completely fucking nailed it.
A word? Thank you.
No, you deserve all the credit. What Blackbeard is doing is directly emulating Emu, whether he knows it or not.
Or he's trying to consolidate that power.
That's the irony of his character.
Yes. He's trying to consolidate all this power. He's giving his followers these devil fruits, similar to how we assume Emu gives his followers, the Gorosei and the Holy Knights, this demonic power. And another thing that goes along with that is Luffy and Blackbeard, they have the same dream. They both want to find the One Piece and become the Pirate King. But what did we learn about Luffy pretty recently? That's not his true dream.
Yeah,
he has another dream at the end of his dream. He has a dream that he believes he can only achieve once he becomes the Pirate King. And going with this thing where Blackbeard and Luffy have all these parallels, they have all these things in common, I think it's a safe assumption that Blackbeard's also has a true dream. That is not, he believes that finding the One Piece and becoming Pirate King will allow him to achieve his true dream. There are many connections, there are many parallels between Blackbeard and Rox D. Zebek. What was Rox D. Zebek's goal? It was to become king of the world. Who's king of the world?
Emu.
It's Emu.
Yeah.
And I think Blackbeard, whether he knows it or not, I don't know if Blackbeard knows of Emu's existence. But I think what he is doing, Blackbeard is essentially Emu in the making.
Mm-hmm.
He is like a new Emu that's on the rise to power.
Which totally makes sense, because he has like the darkness fruit, and Emu sent the world into a fucking void. So
exactly. I think it's really interesting, Emu's and Blackbeard's like connections. I think it's really cool. I wonder what Oda's gonna do with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions I have about the first world description, I am 100% certain about my interpretation of the second world. I really believe.
He said he's 100% certain, Silver.
I mean, you can disagree. That has no impact on my certainty.
Let me just say, I had a slightly different interpretation on things, because here's my somewhat take on this. Because one thing that I feel like I noticed going after this was like at least with the first world, they mentioned the Forbidden Sun and then the Sun God. Like they were, like seemingly the way they were setting this up is like these are somewhat two different things. And so, like, and it feels like it's the same thing happening here in the second world, at least with the first part. Like, how the sun only aggravated fires war. Like, if we're going to assume that that's basically the mother flame, aka the representation of nuclear power, or I think that could just be a sign that maybe there was, like, a nuclear holocaust. That was my interpretation of it. And then the sea god rampaging, and I assume it wasn't so much about them adding that whole devil fruit failsafe, because I imagine that would actually have been something built in. But what that's referring to, when the sea god rampages, was literally either the world sinking into the ocean and creating the world as we know it today. Okay, that was my interpretation. Everything else I agree with, but it was just like those two lines in particular that just stood out to me somewhat differently.
Yeah,
I disagree. Anyway,
well, unfortunately, that's not what Zenith said. So
I'm not. I will say I'm not.
No, I get what you're saying, because I do think the whole, like, with the sea level rising and everything, that is gonna come up, and it kind of has. I just don't think our understanding of like the sea rising, that event, really lines up perfectly with what we're being told on this mural.
I'm very much unsure. I'm not super confident in my interpretation of the mural at this point in time. I think I have a lot of it figured out, but there are still things like Zenith. I like his theory that the sea god stormed or whatever, and that is supposed to be the implications that someone implemented a failsafe weakness into the devil fruits. I think that is a good theory, and I think it makes sense. But I don't know if I fully believe that. I'm not really sure what that is supposed to mean.
A man's got to stand by his theories, so I'm sick.
Yeah, no, hey man.
Okay, I know.
I can praise the agenda,
I know I'm, I literally entered this conversation by saying I have no idea about anything. But I do think that
An outside perspective can be valuable.
Yeah. Have you guys considered the possibility that the mural is making everything up?
I fucking knew it. I could literally hear the smile on your face as
I
you were
heard
talking.
the fucking.
I'm so disappointed in myself that I could not stop myself from smiling.
I fucking
You guys
knew it.
If you consider that the One Piece mural made up its backstory, so people would think it's cool.
Good for it.
So you just say, your answer is it's just all bullshit.
Hey, literally, yes, because Ripley called it a child's dream. So, yes.
But I do think we're supposed to.
That all of this is wrong. It's all made up.
Here's the thing. That would be really funny.
Unironically,
Wouldn't it? Great.
It's funny because I've never thought that. Okay, real quick, I want to make it clear. I'm going way back because I've been thinking about this since we talked about it originally, and I have not been able to stop thinking about it, so I need to say it.
Right.
But when I asked Sky the question, oh, what do you think's funny about Lily and Emu or whatever, it made me think about during the Reverie when we first see Emu. We see him in his room, or the Chamber of Flowers, whatever the fuck, yeah. And he has pictures of Luffy, Blackbeard, Shirahoshi, and Vivi. And the pictures of Luffy, Blackbeard, and Shirahoshi are all tore up, and he's holding the picture of Vivi. And then he walks up to the throne, he sits down on the throne, big.
And then he says, if your goat is not here, I'm sorry, they don't matter.
Yeah.
What do you mean by this?
I always interpreted that the way I always saw that, because that's the end of the Reverie, and then later we learn off screen Cobra was killed, Vivi has disappeared, and the implication was he was looking at these four characters because he knows their importance. And he chose Vivi for some reason. That's why her picture was untouched. And that led to Cobra being killed and all this. That's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's literally not what happened. He has since clarified, because we see what happens in the throne room. He doesn't take Luffy and Blackbeard seriously at all. He doesn't think they're threats at all. He thinks he's they don't even understand the significance of their name. And Vivi disappearing and her father being killed had nothing to do with her being a target. It was Cobra. He wanted to speak to the Gorosei, and Emu was curious. Emu wanted to talk to Cobra because he was curious about Lily. And I asked the question, I was like, oh, why does he have the mural, or why does he have the picture framed of Lily on his wall? And it's like, well, it's most likely because he was in love with her, or he did care deeply about her. And then I was like, oh, I think the members of the D clan are the descendants of Joy Boy's crew. I think what he was actually doing was he was looking at Luffy, Blackbeard, and Shirahoshi because they probably remind him or directly look like the Mermaid Princess and members of Joy Boy's crew from the Void Century, because Vivi is in that same boat and she looks identical to Lily. And he didn't destroy her picture because she looks like Lily.
Oh.
He hates the other three because they were his enemies in the Void Century, but he still cares about Lily.
It's you guys were talking, Sailor, you said that, like, bro, Shamrock's wife's genes were not putting in the work. Dude, every member of the Nefertari family that wasn't the Nefertari was not putting in the work.
They were not fighting at all, bro.
Thousands of years and she looks the exact goddamn same.
Cobra's genes were not trying still.
It's like that it's like that guy walking down the street and the other guy just stops him, like puts his hand on his chest. Like, those were Lily's genes, bro. It was just like, I can't wait to see what our child looks like, and Lily's genes just stepped in like,
You need my child.
I think one thing that's interesting, which this is the only thing I can actually add of substance, is that obviously this mural is real.
Yesterday,
like,
somebody wiped out my mural.
Poetic, but everything here happened. That's true. And it's
not everything.
I disagree. Like,
no, the third world is what will happen.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
I'm being a pedantic little shit. Right. Go on.
Yeah, you're right. I should have known. But the idea is that we can trust this information, even though it is technically just a drawing on a wall. Like, it is reliable, and it's interesting how that works in the series, because this series does have unreliable information. It's just all the stuff that the government says.
I trust a random wall in a cave before I trust the government.
That's the thing, is that, like, the series is, in most series, like, there's a lot of this kind of, like, prophecy, history, etc., is subject to unreliability. Because inherently, like, some people do, some characters want to twist the truth to suit their needs, blah, blah, blah. And it's interesting how, like, that, we know that this is real because we do know who would do that. And it's not, the giants.
We know the real gender piece merchants.
Yeah. Which I just, because, like, it's, despite what I said, what is happening is undeniably true. So it's just a question of how best to interpret it.
Yeah.
And personally, I'm on Zenith's side.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's all fake.
Well, I just really love, like, that idea that the devil fruits did not have the weakness to the sea.
I just don't see why they would initially have that. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
It's like, because it's, when we think of them as just a thing in the world, it's like, oh, you eat this, you get the power of the devil, but then you can't swim. It's just like a world thing. But knowing that they're created, it's like, well, yeah, that does seem like just as, especially, like, the group in control of the devil fruits, it seems like the one thing you wouldn't want to do is install a fucking Achilles heel in it.
Well,
an Achilles heel that covers the majority of the world.
Well,
that's like not even, like, more of the world than, like, our Earth, which is 70% water, by the way. Like, it is mostly water.
That's another. Sorry, go ahead, Silver.
Yeah, no, because I was gonna say, like, at that point, like, we don't even know what the state of the world was like, because we don't know if the world was fully submerged yet. Is what I'm saying.
I was gonna say, what if the god of the ocean was just listening in, and they were just like, "Yeah, the only weakness to these devil fruits is the water." They were like, "Oh, word, bet."
Well,
watch this.
I think you can,
like, ours still be completely covered in water.
I actually think, you can make a really solid estimate that I think when Emu used the Mother Flame on the what was the kingdom name? When he blew up the island that Sabo was next to.
Lucia,
Yeah,
whatever?
that one.
Lucia?
Yeah,
Leloucia.
Leloucia. There
Yeah,
you go.
Yeah.
Thank
It
you.
doesn't have a
When-
name.
I
It doesn't
remember.
even
I
exist,
remember
guys.
the random like. I remember the milk delivery girl from Ace's cover story. I was like, what island is she from? I couldn't remember fucking Leloucia. What is wrong with me?
Hey man, I didn't remember either. But anyway, when Emu used the Mother Flame to blow up Leloucia, Vegapunk created the video, and he's like, I theorize that in a day or two, the ocean levels will rise, right? And it rose. What was it, like a couple meters?
Yeah, I believe so. A couple meters.
So
That's a lot.
it's a lot, but also one single shot rose a couple meters. Most of the world's covered in ocean. How many fucking times did he fire that weapon?
Too many.
This is going to, with my previous theory. I think the serpent of Hellfire is Uranus, and I think the world as it was, the advanced society that was close to our own, resembles our own world. It was a normal world where majority was still water, like our world, but it had giant land masses, it had continents, it had, it was normal looking. And in the third world, when he reigned death and destruction, or when he covered the world of death and destruction, I think he fired Uranus a lot, and that flooded the world. And that is why Joy Boy is considered the first pirate, because he was the first person in this second world covered in water to go out and adventure and be free. Because most of that, by that point, it was covered in water.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that if we go with the theory that Emu had a monopoly on devil fruits and was using them for his own power, that the main weakness of the devil fruits is the ocean, and it's his fault that most of the world is covered in the ocean.
Yeah.
What does George Lucas call it? Poetry? Like it
Like poetry, it rhymes.
yeah, it's poetry. It rhymes. Like it all makes sense.
It just makes sense. Yeah. Comes back to haunt you and shit.
And I think, even if I'm not right about the other stuff, I do think I am right about him, like, monopolizing devil fruits, because otherwise, how the fuck was he fighting all that? Like actually.
Bro was not handling all that.
Dude, the alliance that Joy Boy must have had to be crazy.
Dude, Joy Boy alone, this nigga untied his shoe and knocked the Gorosei back to where they were.
Yeah, he had the fucking the poop group.
Yeah.
And it exploded.
You're just like,
Yeah,
dude,
so
what?
I do think even if I'm wrong about the other stuff, I think I am absolutely correct about that part. But regardless, then you get to the third world.
Right.
And
So yeah, no, that's literally
I've seen
everything
a
we were
lot of-
talking about beforehand, you know?
I think the third world's interesting because this is a mural of someone drawing up history and everything. But I think you can also, and I've seen others interpret it this way, you can really interpret this this left part of the mural as the future.
Oh yeah,
As the future battle.
I agree.
Because
'Cause it's
specifically,
repeating
like,
itself, too.
I mean, there's just a lot of interesting stuff here, like, and you can see it as both. I'm sure it's gonna the alliances of both Joy Boy and Luffy are gonna be very parallel of each other. Like each major member and group is gonna have a parallel. But this looks a lot like the alliances that like Luffy has formed, and will form. Like the one boat that's right above Franky's shoulder, I think is just like the Kazuki clan
It's
and
Kazuki.
the people of Wano.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like it's Wano.
Yeah, because you got like a little shuriken there. That's a ninja.
Yes.
Yes.
You have the different like the Minks and the Tontadas there. You have
Emmett is there.
you have who just straight up looks like is probably Shirahoshi, but as like, the queen.
Yep.
Yeah.
because there's like a crown
Yep.
there, and there's like a big fish underneath her. I imagine that's like one of the what are they called again? The sea kings.
Sea
I think?
kings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Let's
think
get the
that's
one
just meant
all
to
the way
depict
back
this.
that Luffy punched from East Blue.
Yeah, and
The Lord of
that
the
giant. I've
Yes.
mentioned this earlier. That giant looks suspiciously like Loki. So there's probably a giant alliance in there, and will be.
And then directly above his head, you have Emmett.
Who
Yeah.
will the future equivalent of that be? That's right, Franky.
Let's go,
All
Franky
puffed up and robot.
Shogun.
Another really
Tactic
interesting thing
15.
is directly above, whether it's Joy Boy or Luffy, is a Lunarian. Who, yes, this could be referring to a Lunarian part of his alliance in the past, and potentially Luffy having the what are they called again? The Seraphim on his side, but also that could just be King, because King, like, he's literally told by Kaido, it's like,
Kaido.
the one who beats me is Joy Boy.
And also, Kaido, I've been trying to find a way to bring it up. Kaido had Ragnarok, which was like Conqueror of Three Worlds. So him being like, hey, whoever beats me next is Joy Boy, that tying into like Three Worlds and all that good stuff.
Mhm.
It's pretty cool, man.
Now, I
It's
will
pretty
say,
cool.
there's one thing that very much confuses me about
Yeah,
the
I was
left
gonna
part
bring
of
it
this
up,
mural.
What's that?
I don't know what
mean?
the flying whale's about.
Stick
I'm not entirely sure on that part. I will
What
be
if-
honest.
with me. I am throwing.
Laboon, it's time,
Laboon.
buddy.
It's Laboon.
It's time, buddy. Get your
Yeah,
ass
that's
over
Finally
literally
here.
break
all I
down
can
that
think of.
fucking wall.
I also think a very this is a very innocuous detail, actually, that I've never seen anyone talk about. Why is it raining? Like, that is something that is drawn with a purpose there. That it is raining on the left side of the mural. And I have no theories about that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thought you
Yeah,
had,
that's
thought you
fine.
had
It's just-
something.
I'm not even asking y'all to give theories, because I'm just like, this is something you would very easily miss and not think about.
Yeah.
But like,
I
why?
was,
Like that? Like, it's not like that's drawn just because, you know.
I was gonna
Yeah.
ask, for the flag we see with the logo on it, is that the Alabasta like logo?
We
So
talked about
it
this
could be
before.
like-
Actually, it's close.
Yeah.
I looked it
I
up.
thought I saw someone saying that was the Kuja pirate flag.
So this is a thing. It's that symbol, the circle with the circles around it,
Yeah.
is a
Yep.
symbol that shows up with many different cultures and people in One Piece that have connections to Joy Boy in the Ancient Kingdom. The Kozuki, the Shandians, Alabasta, I think the Kuja, Kuma, like his people, the Buccaneers. So I think that symbol of the circle with the circles around it, it's supposed to look like a sun.
Yeah.
My theory, my personal theory, is that symbol was the Jolly Roger of the Joy Boy pirates.
That makes sense.
And I think these people in these cultures that have survived have turned that symbol. They've altered it to not make it identical, but they have basically kept that symbol alive through the ages. Passing it down. But I think that is what that symbol is.
It's like a mini galaxy. Circles revolving around one big circle.
Type shit. I love Mario. Yeah.
Me
think,
too, man.
I think
So
it
I'm
also
just
makes
saying-
sense because what's his name? Saul was bringing up like, hey, in Quiet, the legend of Nika has been like passed down all over the world. So like that
Mhm.
could be a way of showing that.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, it's propaganda. They're brainwashing.
The
You're
woke
buying into
third
it.
world.
The only ones we can trust is the government.
Hey, you should join the government and stuff. Yo.
Boom.
Yo, wow.
Yeah, nah, man. This shit. This is like.
Emu
like-
this, emu that. The sun is watching, and no one is talking about that.
Hey, man. The sun, mind your business. The sun's just doing his thing. Living life, enjoying things.
Soaking up the not the sun.
soaking up the vibes. The vibes.
The
Big
vibes.
vibes guy, the sun.
The vibe rays.
Big vibes guy, that guy.
Yeah.
Big
But,
on vibes.
Yeah, what a dense chapter.
This is some straight up biblical shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like
7 out of
genuinely.
10. Loved it.
Like, and here's the thing: I hope that one day we're able to look back at this podcast and be like, "Damn, we were cooking."
Yeah.
And we got it all wrong somehow.
What Zenith means is that he wants to look back and see he was right. That's what he's trying to say.
Yes, but I hope a lot of us are right about different things, honestly. I haven't provided all the analysis.
I cannot wait for this to one day be adapted like 5 years from now. But like the transition from like Saul doing the dum dum da da and it pans to Franky just looking up in awe with that in the background, and then the episode just ends on that, like, that shit'll be so crazy, bro. Oh my god.
I genuinely believe that we did get some things correct on this podcast. I think we have said things that are clearly, like, I think they will be proven to be correct. I don't think it's most of it. I think there's probably a lot that we got
You're
wrong.
probably
But,
right.
I think a lot of the theories we gave are pretty solid. I'm biased, obviously, but
You know what, guys? I think that we are right. I think
I am right, actually.
We are pretty correct.
I am not just saying shit to say it. I actually believe it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
The agenda will never die.
Yeah. Genuinely, I mean, does anyone else have anything else? Because, like, fuck.
Who do you think's stronger, Mihawk or Shanks?
I'm sticking by Mihawk on this one.
Okay.
Fuck.
Yeah, I'll go with the sword painter. I also I wanted to mention Ripley. I mean, God, but I wanted to bring her up specifically because.
Good Lord,
Alright,
calm down.
man.
But listen, it's for a good cause this
Good
time.
Lord, man.
I swear. But Ripley saying maybe this is nothing more than a child's dream. Do you think that could sort of play into Luffy's dream in a way?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely think it's.
Whatever his dream is, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's
Because
a child.
everyone laughed.
Well, yeah, because it's Luffy.
It is literally a child's dream because it's a dream he came up with when he was 5.
Yeah.
And it's something ridiculous that people think is funny.
Yeah.
And it's still just kicking around in that brain of his. It's the only thing up there.
Like one of those old school things when your computer goes to sleep and the thing bounces around.
Yeah.
Dum,
Yeah,
dum.
man. Changes color every time. It's just lit.
It never hits the corner. If it hit the corner, he would say something smart. It hasn't happened yet.
Hey, man, we're still waiting for it. It'll happen.
We'd be waiting here.
But yeah, this was what a fucking chapter, dude. Like, oh my
Are we on
god.
break next week for
No.
What a fucking madman.
We're back, dude. We get the rare 4-chapter run.
That's crazy.
Unheard of.
Yeah.
Does not
One
happen.
Piece is coming out. Can you believe it?
I will say something else I learned from teching. The last time we had a 4-chapter run, we went on a month hiatus. So like, hey,
Bro deserved.
Yeah.
I think he gave us enough just with this one.
Yeah, true. I agree, but keep that in mind because it could happen.
It was a pretty big cliffhanger the last time, right? I forget what was it.
I don't remember.
Last week's chapter.
Well, it was just Shamrock reveal.
Yeah.
No. Last time that we had 4 chapters,
Oh.
4 chapters, and then a month-long hiatus. The end of those 4 chapters, the chapter before the hiatus was really big, right? Because it was during Egghead, which
I
everything
don't
in
remember.
Egghead.
Yeah, I have no idea. It probably was though.
Yeah, I remember vaguely because it's like this is the worst time to take a break ever, and it's the longest type of break. Not the longest.
There's probably some shit to do with the Gorosei coming down then.
It might have been.
Probably, yeah. Tekken's a goat for redrawing the mural. Absolutely, bro. That was so funny. That was so funny. Shout out to Shady24 for the donation, by the way. Emu's a gangster for surviving all this. Yeah, man. Bro's
I mean,
been
he was the
through
one
it.
who probably caused all of this, so I would probably say Hey, I wouldn't go that far, but
That was one of my favorite that was one of my favorite memes that came from this chapter. Was people cooking Roger, saying
Dude,
like, "Bro,
yes!
Roger learned the true history and killed himself. He did not want to smoke with fucking Emo. Like he did."
Bro, that's one of my favorite tweets that I saw about that. He's like, Agenda Piece is live and well when people are slandering the fucking Pirate King, bro.
I saw that one. I saw
People are
it.
calling
Welcome
the
back, One
Pirate King
Piece.
a fraud. That's how you know.
I forget who it was, but someone in chat was
Gone
saying it's
too
like
far.
Roger was laughing because he knew he didn't have to fight all this.
That's gonna be crazy. Hey, good luck to you and y'all though. But me, I'm gonna take it easy, guy.
Looked at that mural and said, "It's fucked up what they be doing to y'all. Hey, but y'all be easy."
I ain't
What's
gonna
the
lie.
fastest-
Bro saw that and Bro saw that whole true history and was like, damn, I ain't feeling too good. I gotta say that was like, ooh.
Yeah, people are like, "Oh, Roger died, so he didn't have to pay child support." Now Roger died, so he wouldn't have to get fucking catching.
Oh shit, bro.
He needed his legend to like stay.
I didn't want to have to fight him, Mr. Devil Fruit himself.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, guys. If I had to fight Emu, I'd blow my head smooth.
Bro, nah, because Roger's just aura farming, bro. He went up there. He was just like, "Listen, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I am not trying to fight this nigga. So you know what? I'ma just set other people up. They gonna look at me like I'm a legend." Rayleigh's like, "Bro, that'll never work." He put his hand on his shoulder. He said, "Partner, I'm never gonna die," and then went on to do the craziest act of aura farming in manga. Hey man, hey, everyone is like, "Oh, Roger, he's that guy." That's why he died with a smile. He said, "Yep, the hoes
Yeah.
gonna love this
What
one."
should I tell them? The fact that everything around them is fake and literally the sky is falling and descending upon them. Nah, I'm just gonna tell them some crazy shit. Be mad funny.
No, it
The
was really
hoes
it was
gonna
it was
love
really a
this.
stroke of genius to like incite everyone with greed because he's like, well, if you find my treasure, it'll give you everything. The part he left out is then you have to fight Satan himself after you find it.
It's like a JRPG.
What is waiting for you at the end of that rainbow and that pot of gold? It is not a leprechaun, nigga. That is the devil.
It is actual Ragnarok.
That is the devil, brother. Yay, good luck though. Be easy with that. Hey, you got it. You got it.
But once
Hey.
again, good luck to you and yours, but not mine.
Hey,
Not
you know
mine.
what they say, it's not about the not about the destination, bro. It's about the journey, you know?
Bro, that nigga Shanks walked up to him. "What'd you find on Laugh Tale, boss?" Patted him on the shoulder. "You're cooked, little nigga."
That's why Shanks was crying.
That's why he was crying. Like, what? What?
I'm not gonna lie, kids. You guys are fucked.
Bro found out his goat was washed and couldn't believe it, bro. He fell to his knees. Oh my god, bro.
The idea, well, just the fact that this started, like, Agenda Piece is crazy because they're giving the Pirate King smoke, and we're all here like, man, that bomb.
Nah, bro. Cause listen, this has ripple effects, bro. Cause Buggy, after he recovered from his disease or whatever, he was like, "Shanks, we're gonna go see what the One Piece is, right? We missed out on it before, but I really think we could go now." And Shanks was just like, "We're fucking cooked, bro. It's over for us. We can't go after that thing." And then Buggy got all mad at him, and now Shanks is out here just like fucking around on random islands. He's like, "I'm not going for that thing, bro. It's not
He's
me.
just biding time for the plot to start.
It's not
It's
me."
This kind of connects to something me and Zenith were talking about, where it's like it's really interesting. Where if you try to put yourself back when Marineford was coming out weekly. And by the end of Marineford, everyone who's reading One Piece realizes that the world government is the most powerful organization in the story. Because the Whitebeard pirates were hyped up. And yes, Whitebeard was very sick, etc., etc. But Whitebeard was still pretty fucking strong. And his crew
Very
was
strong,
incredible.
yeah.
They still took it seriously.
Yes, and the truth of the matter is that the Marines won pretty handily. Like,
it was an absolute victory. They accomplished everything they wanted and more. They killed the person they wanted to, and like plus one extra. The only fuck up was Blackbeard.
They literally, it was a complete victory. They had 0 losses on their side. No admiral was killed. No admiral was defeated. Like, they were the Shichibukai were completely fine. The warlords were a-okay. They didn't even try.
Even Moria.
Yeah,
Moria.
The only reason why Moria got fucked up was because of another Shichibukai at the end of the war.
but my point is that at that point in the story, we knew about the other Yonko. But even back then, we were like, okay, the government is the strongest. That was before we knew the Gorosei could fight. That was before we knew about the Holy Knights. That was before we knew about Ino. That was before we knew about the Seraphim. And it's like, they were the strongest then, and now they're even stronger now. They have continuously become a bigger threat as time goes on. And it's like, that's kind of crazy.
And they're still looking for more power with the Giants now.
Yeah, like...
Because they are scared to face what they faced before. Like that mural is something they dealt with already, and they're like, God, I don't want to catch that again.
I ducked that fade once,
I do
bro,
not want to have to
please.
fight someone who actually is joyous and free and whimsical.
I don't want to have to fight a silly little guy. Come on.
I know, right?
Bro, don't you
like
know that someone
the
who
idea.
works hard will never beat someone who has fun?
Exactly. He enjoys himself, man.
I like the idea that like multiple of like the most significant characters in the series right now don't want to do shit because they're afraid. Like, because that's the fucking thing with Akainu is like, I'm sitting my ass home. It's like he knows. He and Shakes are both like, I ain't trying to do shit, man. This is great. And when you peep for the Admiral, they're like, oh hey, by the way, so the super apocalypse is a thing. And it's like, well, damn, my ass is sitting at home.
Yeah, bro. Like, genuinely, bro. Like, can you imagine just being like, you're just a Kainu, you just open the door to the Gorosei's office, you see the Salem witch trials going on, like, maybe I don't think I should be here.
The rite of passage for becoming strong in One Piece is finding out that you're not all that.
Yes, bro, yes.
That you are not.
You get humbled, yeah.
Yeah.
You find out that there's levels to these bezels, bro. Come on.
It's really funny because I believe it was 2012 or 2013, long time ago. Oda had this quote, and obviously, exact translation might be a little different of like what he said, but essentially what he said was, "I'm so surprised everyone was so enamored with Marineford because to me that was like a sidestep. Like the main event at the end of the story is going to be even bigger." And at the time, because that was like the beginning of post time skip, people were like, he's glazing. Like, I don't know if he can deliver on the hype. I don't know, man. Shit's getting pretty fucking crazy.
It's getting so big, I don't know if he can do it. Honestly.
Marineford is little peanuts. Like, it is small peanuts compared to like what the fuck we gotta do.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I looked at this mural. That shit might be the craziest double page spread in the story so far, and it's just a wall, nigga. like, I don't know, man. He may have been telling the truth.
Wall piece.
The Viking cyborg looking at a child's drawing.
Genuinely, bro. Just like, oh, here's a kid's drawing. And it's the crazy shit you've ever seen in your life, by the way.
Yeah, no, that it's a good point that like the Marineford was one crew versus a part of the government versus the lower echelons of the government.
Yeah, the public face of the government.
Yeah, versus none of the strongest people in the government. They didn't even have the sky nuke.
Yeah.
They didn't even have the laser then.
Oh my god, bro.
So yeah, it's just like by nature the scope. God, this is gonna be the first fucking triple page spread in history. It's gonna be one chapter that's just like double page after double page of just everybody.
It's just gonna be Luffy stretching the entire chapter.
First
You're gonna
spread
buy
to
a
last 3
volume.
volumes.
You're gonna be going through the volume. You're like, man, there's a lot of introductions.
It's gonna look like a flip book where you just flip through the pages and everything's moving. Like that's just gonna be.
Yo.
Like damn, it's kind of crazy. Holy shit. Yeah, man, this shit is insane. This is like, it's stuff like this where it's like, bro, I'm so happy to be a One Piece fan, man. Oh
It
my
is.
God.
This is a page I will be revisiting so much, just to
Absolutely.
it's referenced
I
here.
know, isn't that right, guys? It's so good to be a One Piece fan, right? Woo, go One Piece.
Go One Piece. Yeah.
Go, yeah, no,
Like it's actually insane to like sit down and read this and like just talking about it and realizing how deep this could go. It's just like, man, I love this fucking story. God, dude, this is so good. But yeah, absolutely insane chapter. Is there anything else you guys would like to say? We've talked about this for about 2 hours now.
I'm tapping out, dude. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, I got nothing. I put all my agendas out there.
Yeah, that makes
It was
sense.
It was fun to come back because I definitely have missed talking about One Piece on the podcast.
Yes,
like
sir, man. We
I ain't
missed
gonna
you.
lie, man. It has not been easy trying to remember everything you say when we talk about One Piece and like presenting it well.
You know, I haven't really I've listened a little bit to the podcast, but I haven't been able to watch like the full podcast the last couple weeks when I haven't been on. So a part of me wondered, like, I wonder what they're saying about One Piece. Like, I wonder, like,
We try our best,
No, I'm
man.
trying.
I wonder if they're correct. I wonder.
I think we've gotten pretty good. I think we've done well.
Yeah.
mhm.
Well, this is an important
Our viewership has not dropped exponentially. So
yeah, well,
I
this
think-
is an important step of growth that Taco and I had to make sure you guys could handle, you know? With
This has been a trial for us.
Yeah. As the Robin to his Batman, we had to see if Gotham could last for a little bit on their own.
Strong
You
maybe.
know,
He's been missing the road glaze. True, man. True.
That is so
That's
true.
so
Oh
real.
my god! Thank God.
Can we get
Yeah,
some
you know,
road
yeah.
trips time, bro? I'm not gonna lie.
No, I want to talk about
this
other
shit.
things.
This shit is
Yeah,
bigger. Like this shit is
Chainsaw
bigger than rap,
Man.
bro.
oh my god, it's bigger than
No.
nothing.
It's no.
You know what?
Listen,
I'll fit in a
listen,
little
listen.
bit of. I'll fit in a little
Listen.
bit of road glaze for you.
Listen,
One of the giants on the left side of the mural is road. There you go.
listen. This shit is for once. This is bigger than my glorious king. Okay, so I don't really have much to say about him this week. I'm just in awe, you know.
I still think he's gonna die.
Oh my god, bro! That what you doing? You just come back to dick eat? Is that what you doing? This is how you get down?
You would love that.
What the hell?
Yeah.
What the hell?
what the hell?
Why would you say that?
What the hell?
Okay. Well, if we're moving on, unfortunately, I am like a couple chapters behind on Chainsaw Man and Kagurabachi. So I'll
Don't
probably
worry,
have-
nothing happened in Chainsaw Man this week, bro.
Oh my
They
god.
they stuck their
Yeah.
body through his mouth. They won.
I haven't read the chapters, but I've seen people talk about the chapters.
Okay, so like Taco, you can decide if you want to leave. Let's transition for right now. We'll talk about it, and you know,
yeah, okay,
you-
I'll listen.
you can have the out of
I'll
context
listen.
experience here. So Chainsaw Man chapter 191, fellas, how are we feeling about this?
Now I want to say
God.
real
Ah.
quick. I think it's really funny online the reaction to this chapter because either you're a Denji fan or you're a Yoru fan, which means you either like or hate this chapter.
Bro, as a fan of both, I have never like I've never been this happy and this sad at the same time.
Yeah.
This,
God damn it, Denji.
we
literally had a whole arc on this shit.
Go ahead. I'll let you go.
It's just tough, man.
It's like, bad.
It's being... Because, like, I get it. I get what he's going for. I hope. I hope that this is all culminating.
The biggest Fujimoto fan in the world no longer has faith.
Take care, by the way. I see you.
Really hope that this is some, like, really nuanced arc about relapsing and the difficulty to grow. But there is a point where no amount of hindsight is gonna change how miserable of a weekly experience this is.
Here's my thing with it too. If you're going to have like a relapse arc with Denji, I truly think that could be interesting. But the fact that this is the most sauceless arc for a character that I've seen, like the fact that there's no hesitation, there's no thinking about it, there's no guilt that Denji undergoes when he's thinking about this stuff in this moment. It's like, what are we doing? Like, I feel like we handled this really good just a couple chapters ago, where Asa was like, you're just thinking with your dick again? What is your problem? And Denji's like fumbling and stumbling and like struggling to justify this obviously terrible thing that he's thinking about doing. And he feels awful about it and he knows it's fucked up, but he still wants to do it. And it's like, that is so much more interesting than Denji just falling into another honey trap again for no reason. Like, literally, Taco, you know that meme of the ROTC kid where he's like, me when a bad bitch tells me to do something? Unironically, Denji this chapter. Like,
yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. And I've never felt more disappointed as a result.
I can't fucking believe this, man, because this is making me look back at the past couple of chapters in general. Because when I... Shut up.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was a clever reference. My bad.
It was. It was. I wasn't even thinking about that. So it caught me off guard. You're in a bad place
right now. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to gas you up.
It caught me off guard. I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting the flashback there. So it's causing me to look back on this entire thing now, where when Denji and Asa gets transported into Aging Devil's world, I'm like, okay, bet, man. I'm so excited. All of part 2 of Chainsaw Man has been building the idea that Denji and Asa have to have a legit heart-to-heart. There has been so much animosity and confusion between these two characters, and they've been together, they've been around each other for so long, not knowing what each other's entire deal is. So it's about time that these characters sit down, talk to each other, and actually understand each other and move forward from that. And I'm like, oh yes, man, I'm so fucking excited. Dude, Fujigoto back at it again. He put these guys in an environment where all they could do is talk. They can do nothing but talk. And they're gonna have this conversation that we've been needing for so long, so many chapters, almost 100 of them things. But we finally got to this point. It's amazing. And then instead of basking in that moment, we speed blitz through the escape. We speed blitz through Denji being inspired. And then we have Yoshida come in, and now it's about him. And then Fumiko comes in. She has a body double, I guess. Now it's more about Fumiko and Yoshida and their whole thing. And like, oh, we beat aging. Cool. And then we come back here. And it's like, okay, that was pretty fast, but you know, end of the fight was still good. I'm excited to see what happens with these characters. And fellas, if you could please consult the graphs, nothing happens. It's
oh, would you look at the time?
It's truly unfortunate to have. I just don't fucking get how you have a character like Denji where you emphasize so much that this character needs to change, that he needs to grow, that he needs to learn from this stuff, and you just put him back in the same cycle to relearn the same lesson again and again and again. Because this is like the third time this has happened in part 2. It's happened with Yoru twice now, and then it happened with Fumiko, where Denji has just fallen into these traps for no fucking reason other than him just being a horn dog. And it's getting real hard to be on the front lines and be like, nah, man, Fujimoto is doing really good with Denji. He's telling a lot of interesting shit, when you just have this character revert back to the same guy again and again and again. What are we doing? I don't want to live in a timeline where I have to look at this and go, damn, maybe this nigga was just chatting. Maybe he doesn't have any actual idea. Maybe he just goes, wow, that's fucked up, ain't it, guys? Anyway, here's Denji jerking off again. Like, maybe that's just what it is. And I don't want to have to live in that fucking timeline. I don't want to have to live in a timeline where Denji is just perma horn dog and has to learn, maybe I shouldn't be so horny, guys. Maybe I should stop gooning. And then, you know, we just repeat the cycle again for another 100 chapters. Please, Fujimoto, what are we doing here, brother? What is happening?
People think that the themes and like message of Chainsaw Man is about like the ugliness of change and like et cetera, et cetera. In reality, it's just teenagers suck.
Oh my god! Oh my god, man. We throw away Denji learning about Asa and Yoru's split personality just to shove it in a Denji wants to know who gave him the handy in the alley because he's horny. That's what we do. This game-changing revelation that we have jumped through hoops to fucking preserve, Fujimoto. We just throw it out here for a shitty gag instead of when these two are in Aging Devil's world and they're trying to talk and connect and understand each other. This is what happens. Instead of having these two characters understand their situations and realize how similar they are and have that impact of them inspiring each other to continue moving on and the message of the indomitable human spirit and blah, blah, blah. Instead of that, we throw it away to have Yoru just act like Makima 2.0 and go, Denji, listen to me like my obedient dog. Put your hand in your mouth. Oh, no problem, miss. This is what the fuck we're doing in the humongous year of our Lord 2025. This is what the fuck we're doing. Why? Like, come on, bro. Come on.
Hold on. Sailor, I'm starting to get the feeling, my empath sensors are kicking in. I'm starting to get the feeling you're upset. Do you think that's accurate?
I think it is, man. I think you're onto something.
I got no advice for how to help with that, but I'm glad I was.
It feels like he just
I
doesn't
think
want
it's
to write
just
Denji anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
frustrating.
It's
It
so
feels like he wants
frustrating.
to write a medication because
It
I
is.
think that the moment that the fact that, you know, he finds out about Asa and Yoru, and he's, you know, Denji has that dumb fucking open mouth look for a second.
Oh
And then
my
goes
god,
like,
dude.
So which one of you jerked me
It's
off?
fucking every
That's-
battle. Holy
I know.
shit.
That is a bit. Fujimoto is doing that on purpose. He is taking this moment that has been highly anticipated and making it a joke on purpose. It's like an AOT. When, like, instead of a big reveal,
No,
Reiner's
don't
just
make
like, hey,
AOT
dub.
comparisons, no!
No, I'm saying, you know what? I apologize. I should have, my empath senses should have kicked in and realized that was a bad time.
No, please, bro.
But it is an intentional thought process, or an intentional design choice to make that moment in kind of emotional anticlimax. It's like Denji finds out that they're different people. He's immediately like, wait, who jerked me off then? To be fair, I don't think that's 100% like in world. I don't think that's 100% him being horny. I think that's just like, wait a minute, because for him that is the most like striking moment where Asa did not act like herself.
Yeah, and that's what made it so interesting, because when I read that, I was like, oh, this sets up some interesting stuff where it's like, if it's Asa, Denji is essentially betrayed by this person who he really trusts and who he felt safe around, because that was a big reason why he liked Asa, because that was the first woman in his life that he liked, and he felt safe around them. And that was such a big thing. And instead, now you have this happen where it's like, okay, she betrayed my trust, but does that mean she likes me? Like, what do I do about that? And if it's Yoru, okay, what's her deal? Is she just using me too? What's her agenda? What's she planning in all of this? And instead, we just have this fucking Gooner gag again. It's again. We just do this shit again, bro.
I think
all right, Taylor, come on.
Here's the
breathe
thing.
in.
No, let him.
There is
Let him.
still the possibility of an interesting conversation between him and Asa. Because unfortunately, it's Yoru that's out right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put money on it though. Like not anymore.
Not anymore. I agree. Yeah.
There is interesting stuff in this chapter too, which is unfortunately overshadowed by all of this nonsense.
Yoru being a absolute shithead and going after being the most useless motherfucker on planet Earth,
I kinda
having
love
the
him.
audacity to come up here and be like, I am the war devil. You're all alive because of me. Bro, her kicking her feet up on her text panel. Yo, this is so cool.
Crazy.
Like, I love this. This is such an amazing chapter for Yoru, but my Denji stocks.
Yeah.
My Denji stock's been like Nvidia recently. I lost 1 trillion.
Oh my god, bro. Yoru being an absolute shithead is so funny. It's so good, man. And Yoru like just being like, yeah, see, Denji, they don't have the ability to just follow their instincts, and just chucking the cake at this dude's face, and Yoshida just still aura farming to the max. This dude is mogging and just being like, cake, whatever, wipes the cake off his face and just sees Yoru pointing the world's biggest gun at him, and seeing that shit-eating smirk like just disappear. He's like, wait, whoa, bucko.
Hold on.
That's cool, man. Fucking Yoshida being like, hey, man, listen, I know you've been through a lot, but hey, if you become a weapon, yeah, I'll let you kill us right now. But knowing you probably forgive us. Why are you picking up the gun? I thought you forgave us, bro. What's your deal? That's funny.
I fucking love that moment. That is
like,
a spectacular.
Okay, that's
I really thought
that's literally the only good Denji moment in this chapter is like when he takes that gun and he tries to actually kill them. Because I know, fuck that, forgive this shit. Like, you got my sister killed. Well, fuck you.
That's what I'm saying. If frame 1, we just had this and he's like, Denji, just puts the gun on the table. He's like, hey, man, you can shoot us if you want. And Denji's like, yeah, the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
I hate you.
Yeah,
You're
hate
awful.
you. Die. Like, if that was Denji frame 1, I'd be bravo, Fujigoto. Bravo. I would be sending so many round of applause. Oh my god, I'd be so happy. I'd be like, wow, first One Piece, then Chainsaw Man. God, we're cooking. But instead, we went back to the fucking trenches, nigga. We went back to Alcatraz. We went back to hell. How could you send me back? How did we just leave a world where nothing happens to come back to another world where nothing happens? How do we do this, man? Oh my god. I don't.
You know, Sky kind of brought this up earlier, and I didn't really understand what he was saying then, but I think now I'm starting to get it. You do sound a little upset.
Yeah. He had a good point earlier. That guy, big empath guy until he wasn't. But big empath guy. He our friend has a point. He's a very smart guy. He senses he knows how to read the room pretty well, unlike a certain author.
Okay, I know it's maybe premature. Do y'all just want to move on?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we really have much else we can cover with this chapter.
I got nothing else, man. I'm just very disappointed.
I know. Okay, I guess I'll end it off on this. I don't think that Yoshida's dead here. I think she's just fucking with him.
Yeah, I think he's fine.
Specifically because she says earlier, if I keep killing people, Asa's mind will break.
To be fair, Asa, after what happened with Yoshi, she's like, I'll allow it. Like, I could definitely see that happening.
I can see that too, yeah.
But at the cost of, like, everyone else dying, that's how, that makes me hesitate a bit. Yeah, I'll end it off on this, okay? Because I've been seeing personally a lot of people saying, like, let Fujimoto cook. I just want to say this. Brother, it's been almost 100 chapters. What else do I have to wait for, man? What?
In fact, he has only thrown in more things to wait for, which, like, I'm interested in some of that stuff, but,
what are we doing here, man? I think it is perfectly fine to be disappointed in what's been happening with Denji's character. The rest of this chapter, very fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next chapter. Definitely, absolutely. But man, I just feel
it
defeated.
Just feels like there's so much plot going on, and Denji isn't allowed to grow until certain things happen.
Oh my god! But even when certain things happen, like. He just reverts.
No, like
back.
We're just not there yet. Like we're just not at the stuff where he's able to like progress. I don't know. I wonder. It just feels like Denji is caught in a much bigger storyline than he is like meant to be a part of. If that makes sense.
It's genuinely insane. How does Denji go through so much character development in part 1 just to stay the same motherfucker? Like, what?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. Oh my
okay, that was real.
Oh
that was
my
really
god,
real.
Man.
Let's move on.
God. Oh my god.
Yeah, you know what?
It's interesting because that is kind of, in a way, the point of Denji is the fact that he is a small person caught in something much bigger, and that's always been the point. The idea that,
of course.
Well, he doesn't care about the world. He doesn't care about, the bigger conflict. He cares about his life, his internal world, and then, that expands a bit as he meets some people, Naita, Asa. But the problem is that as the plot is developing, he's not developing with it.
Exactly.
The plot is pretty strong parabola upwards, and meanwhile Denji's fucking like a heartbeat monitor. He's just like
dude, you know the one meme of the one parent holding up their kid in the pool while the other one drowns? That's Fujimoto holding up Asa and Yoru while Denji's just drowning, man. Because both of them are so fucking good. They are so fucking good, consistently. They're amazing. I love them so much. But, yeah, I don't know what's cooking with Denji. I don't know. So, I just hope that things get better. Let's talk about the Lakers getting LUKA. Listen, I'll save that for after Kagurabachi, because holy fuck. But anyway, let's talk about it. We've been wanting to move on. Kagurabachi Chapter 66. Fellas, how are we feeling about this one?
Really good. Taco, I legitimately think you should actually leave. because this is a good chapter.
Yeah, I
Okay.
want you to read this stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then I will see y'all later. Have fun.
Take
for the
care,
rest of the podcast.
Pookie. Bye.
Bye.
What a cool
All right.
All right. No,
What a good
66
chapter.
chapters. Not a bad
Not a
chapter.
bad one.
Hold on,
Not
wait.
a bad
Let me
one.
do me a favor. I'm counting.
He's counting.
All right, wait. Hold on. Now let me count the number of bad chapters. All right, counted them.
Oh,
And you know what? I have found 100% of the time that Kagurabachi releases a chapter. It ain't a bad one, folks.
Not a single bad chapter. Let's give it up for chapter 66, boys.
yeah, dude. I was not expecting to get Seitei like info in this chapter.
We actually just know what
fucking
happens, kinda.
insane.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's so an island just appeared. Don't know how that happens.
Fucking
Um,
X-Men Krakoa.
and the people
Just
there were able to just use the Daten
The
Seki.
Datenseki, yeah, just came
And
out
they
to
could
flex.
just so that explains one why Datenseki is a thing and the threat they had to deal with. Because
Yes.
Right.
no wonder the enchanted blades had to be made. There were people who could just do that shit.
Yes, dude. This is giving like hard Hell's Paradise vibes, man, and I love it. Just a random ass island in bumfuck nowhere, and some of the craziest shit you've ever seen is on it. Except this time it made its way to Japan and just started tearing things apart. Like, yeah. That shit is so insane,
You know,
man.
maybe, just maybe, the island bifurcator was justified.
Maybe it was
'Cause here's the thing.
justified.
On page 6, it just shows like a field of flowers. And
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah, I can imagine what caused that. I can imagine what won the war.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, it's also so crazy because it's just like we've been bringing it up. It's just like, you know, maybe the child forsaker was necessary. Apparently not everyone thinks that because they
yeah.
fucking hate Samura, dude. I was not expecting that. I wasn't expecting that at all. I thought for sure they'd be like, hell yeah, brother, put in that work, do what you gotta do. But instead, no. Like, seeing this man just get graffiti on his house, trash thrown at his front door, that shit is so awful, man. My God. I guess it adds, like, credence more to what he's saying. About his, like, hey, the sins we've carried out, like, it's too much, bro. It's too much. Like, we gotta recognize that. Yeah.
He's probably
going
like,
to imagine
just killed some innocents then.
I
That's the
think
case, then.
what they did, because I mean, I think it's a pretty obvious metaphor for the enchanted blades, is you know, the bombs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I imagine what they did is they just dropped into like a fully civilian area and just fucking slaughtered people.
They were probably just told, kill everyone.
And like
Just anyone and everyone on site.
that probably ended the war because the people fighting had nothing to fight for. Or they just actually obliterated every single member of that island.
I wonder too, because if these people looked more human-like, that could also be a thing. Because it's just like, well, don't you think like maybe we could communicate with them? Maybe we could be kind to them. Like maybe we could like live together in a world with these people, and them killing them off. That is like that incites a little bit of anger within the group. So like there's so much, man.
Well, I think something that's really telling is that these people, this group, existed. We have never heard them be mentioned or seen them before.
Yes.
And they aren't the oh my god, why am I fucking forgetting the bad guy's name?
Hishaku? Yeah.
Hishaku, yeah. They aren't.
Shaku.
Yeah, they are not from the island because they need the enchanted blades. They would just be using Datenseki
Yeah.
if they were. So the fact that we've never seen any of those people, to me, means that they were genocided.
Yes.
probably.
Like they are probably.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
even like and Yeah, I can imagine people having a problem with that.
Well, wait. Do you think? I think.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
The owner of the Shinichi could be the last one.
Maybe. I was thinking something else. Never mind.
That dude,
I was gonna say like
the
probably
way he was
the way
able
this
to
story-
control the sword like from a distance and was able to practically just wield it almost no problem. Of
and
course,
that's the idea is that he's one that like betrayed. The
yeah,
rest of them.
yeah. You know, that's why I'm
There's gotta
thinking
be at least maybe
they keep
one
this dude
survivor.
under lock and key. Because they're just like, you.
Yeah, that shit is so unfair. What the hell?
Yeah.
Well, guys, I helped you murder literally everyone. All right, bro, get in the box.
Yeah. Yeah. What were you thinking?
Get in the
Xena?
box 2 meals a day. Shut up.
Nothing. I actually just read some stuff. Never mind. Dumb theory. Don't ignore me.
Okay, never mind. Fair. But that's what
I
was
agree.
thinking.
They also had devil fruit.
This was just the second world of One Piece.
Yeah, right.
The second world and island came out of nowhere.
Yeah, man. No.
Get used to this. It's gonna be mostly islands.
Yeah. This shit is vicious, dude. So there's off rip, there's so much stuff that like we could theorize and think about. People who are naturally immune to Datenseki. I wouldn't be surprised if like, you know, they came in and they were like, "Oh, word, y'all got powers? You trying to charge my iPhone real quick?" And then that iPhone went to like a building, and then that building went to something else, and they tried to just use these people. Maybe some enslavery happened, and then you know, that whole thing.
Doesn't sound like the government.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like the government at all.
Doesn't
You know,
sound right.
government wanting to control everything. Nah.
This
So-
is the best day of my life. I get to work for the government.
Yeah. maybe it could have been something along those lines, and people, you know, looking on from the outside, it's like, what the fuck? We just like took these people from their home, kind of fucked them up. Maybe that's the reason why they're mad, or maybe it could just be something all like it's something different altogether. I don't know. It's so interesting. But I was just expecting like them to be like, well, Iori, your dad is a murderer. He's a really strong dude, and that's it. I was not expecting to like delve deep into it, but it makes sense as to why they would, just to explain like, okay, this is why he ended up having to leave you, because he didn't want you to die because of all of these things that he did.
I gotta say, the presentation, once again, not a single bad chapter,
Not a single bad
but like
one.
we talk about the like cinematic presentation of Kagurabachi, and this is such a good example of it, where just the way that his daughter's like remembering it,
Oh,
Chain
with the
in
lock.
with the, like
breaking.
you can imagine if it was, you know, just like an anime, the way that they would be like flashing through.
Mm-hmm.
I
and
was gonna
everything.
say, yeah, the one that I saw, like I thought of specifically, was on page 11, where like I could see a quick flash to like a crow, like the crow, then it flashes to the lock breaking, and then it's just like her shocked. Like, yeah, I absolutely can see what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's I mean, God,
It's really good, man.
this shit crazy.
This shit's really good, man. Yeah, and I love ultimately the lesson of that, where it's just like, hey, she decides, like, do you want to take on this struggle? Do you want to take on this battle? It's all up to you. It's so
I know I wasn't here last
much.
week to talk about it. But that was also really good. The what's it called? Like Chihiro, that you know, that sentiment he had. It's like, yeah, technically speaking, you know, knowing my dad led to the worst time of my life, but I wouldn't have traded it away.
Yeah.
And right now, what she's remembering is a lot of the bad stuff. But I hope that like she is able to remember the good.
That's so heartbreaking too. The one page where she was like, "Dad, look at what I drew." He's like, "I can't see it." She's like, "Oh," like that's so, like, just like it's such a little thing, but like that disconnect between them, like, oh, it's so sad, man. It's so sad.
Dick move on her part.
Then
what an
this?
asshole,
I
Iori.
don't know. What's with you people? I'm blind.
Yeah, what an asshole.
I'm blind.
Yeah.
That's what it'll sound like when one of you actually sees it.
Greatest character known to mankind.
God, she's
Hell
so
yeah.
great, man. But yeah, I love this little tidbit a lot. It was really good. It was way more than I was anticipating. And I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Really good. And then Toto just shows up. Hey, how's it
Yay,
going?
Toto! Yay,
Yeah.
Lily!
Let's go. Yeah, she shows up. Hey, how's it going? What's going on? Yeah, Toto
Chilling.
shows up, and then Hirohiko shows up. I sit up in my
Let's go.
seat. I'm like, whoa, hold on now. Wait a minute. And this man, Hirohiko, holy
cool.
fuck.
He's so cool.
Sick. Who the
God
fuck
damn.
is this guy? This nigga got new arms and started acting different. Bro, came in with the little kebab
Hairpin?
thing, you know, the little Bobby joint.
Hairpin.
Yeah, came in with it. Stabs bro straight, like decapitates
He doesn't
him.
stab him. Yeah, he slices him with it. That's
Decapitates him
crazy.
and said, hold up, let me get my hair right. Nah, bro. What is happening here? What the fuck? And now he's gonna undergo a training arc similar to Chihiro. I mean, like, we've
Dude,
brought it
and
up
we're gonna-
before.
That's actually gonna be so cool. We're probably gonna see Chihiro and him fight in this chapter, and it's
Dude.
gonna be no sorcery whatsoever.
Dude, could you imagine we get like some samurai movie shit where they're just battling through the floors and then they make it to each other like they're each other's final boss?
yeah.
Like, dude. Oh my
Sky, what's that one
God.
movie where this guy like walks up, like just fights his way up through a tower?
The
or, like, a
Guardian.
building? Okay, thank you. I've been trying to remember that.
Yeah, no, the greatest fight scene in fucking history. Yeah,
Exactly, the Guardian.
It's such a good fucking scene.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
no,
But
that's-
yeah, probably shit like that.
Mhm. Well, it's a fun kind of inversion on what usually happens in those kinds of stories where the main character has to fight through the building in order to reach the bad guy on top. And in this, obviously, like it's
It's the reverse.
There's 35 floors.
yeah, it's the fact that Hirohiko's the one who is like making his way up, and I do really like the idea that somehow Chihiro is going to come in conflict with the other people in the building, and have to fight his way down because I don't know. Yeah, they're just good. This is a series that is very good at with like those kinds of parallels, like Chihiro and Sojo, obviously, yeah.
You were testing
Yeah.
me. Don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and even if like that doesn't happen, which I don't think is likely, I at the very least, I think next chapter is going to be mostly Hirohiko rocking shit.
I
Totally
would
fine
not
by
be
me.
surprised
Like-
if it's really just them like back to back.
Yeah. Dude, Hirohiko's so cool in this chapter. He takes the hairpin and ties his hair up with it.
Ties
and
his
it's all
hair
still
with it.
bloody and shit. Like, it's so
He
cool.
said, "Let me just get right real quick. Let me get right for
I
the
would-
flick."
Like to imagine that they'll probably get to the highest point. So like
Yeah.
where the other two members were
Yeah, the
making
Masumi,
the seal
yeah.
because they said that magic and all that stuff can really only be done here. And Hirohiko said, well, I can't use the enchanted blade because there's no magic within all of these other floors. So I would imagine that he probably
Well, he didn't want to
Gets
use
to
the
the top.
enchanted blade because Samura would have tapped in and killed him
well
immediately.
that too. So I probably imagine they get to the top. And
I can see that. That way,
That's
you know,
where
the
the
other
showdown-
ones can use sorcery.
Huh?
Yeah. Other
You know,
members
like-
of the Masumi.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, the Masumi and also Toto.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she can.
Well, Toto
like,
doesn't care. Toto
yeah,
doesn't care.
She can just use it whenever, but you know.
But
if
it's
anything,
like, you know, the
Toto is-
Masumi will be able to use it in their fight.
Yeah, if anything, Toto's probably just gonna be spamming that shit to bring people outside for Hirohiko.
That's actually so fair. Yeah.
He was like, yeah, go ahead. Well, I'll let you run your Dynasty Warriors fade. Go ahead, bro. Figure it out. Do what you gotta do. That's just gonna be awesome, man. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, it's really, this is a really fun chapter. This is really fun. I like this one quite a bit. I needed the palate cleanser.
Someone does bring up, by the way, this might just be a consistent error, but Hirohiko has lost the Hishaku symbol ever since he got the Kumiyuri. I don't think that is an error.
Well, did he
because
just
I think
lose both of his hands?
Yeah,
Like,
he
they
lost
He
his
did
arms.
lose both
Yeah.
of his hands, but he hasn't gotten it back. Like, you'd imagine they'd give him the tattoo back. But I believe that tattoo is very closely tied to the sort of like flame teleportation sorcery they use. And he can't use sorcery anymore. So,
Yeah.
you know, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Type shit. Yeah.
He has a blade now, so...
God.
Yeah, I know that they can't wet napkin. That's why I'm saying it's like the Masumi is the ones that like need the freedom up top. But like Toto's fine. And I'm saying it's like Toto and the Masumi can have their fight without that limitation on the top because the Masumi is trying to abide by the rules. Obviously they can switch up on that. Like given the situation.
Once everyone in the hotel's dead, admittedly, it
That's
does open
true.
up.
Yeah, he's
It's
gonna
true,
stop
yeah.
him.
We saw on the security cameras that
Like the manager's already getting ready to fight. High chance that dude doesn't make it out. So it's like,
he's
who the
dead,
fuck is
yeah.
going to stop him?
Yeah, that dude. I hope he puts up kind of a fight, to be
Yeah,
honest.
because last
Yeah.
chapter
They literally just
yeah,
like
they
he has
hyped him up.
legendary sword style.
Yeah, they hyped him up. So yeah, I think he will put up a decent battle, especially against the Hirohiko, who is like not really trained in the art of the blade just
Oh.
yet.
Actually, what it is because Hirohiko's also a prodigy, so he's gonna see this like sword style that this guy uses, and he's just gonna cop it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh my god.
Because Chihiro could do the same thing.
Yeah. So
y'all are both cheaters. This is bullshit.
Dweeb Shaku's gonna lose his mind.
Hey, but Dweeb
Yeah.
Shaku's gonna appreciate Chihiro at least. He's gonna try to put in his 10,000 hours. Hirohiko, he's not gonna listen to a lesson. He's just gonna be like, man, stick me on the field, nigga. Stick
I
me on the
love
field.
you, Hishaku. I love Johnny Hishaku. I love Dweeb Shaku.
Ed loves them too. They
Yeah,
know
I
that we
love-
don't
I
know
love
by them.
hats.
Toto.
I love Hat Shaku.
Hat Shock is good. Fucking people were calling
Great.
Toto Pookie Shaku. When she
Oh my
first got
God.
shit.
That's a, That's a
Pookie
new one.
Shaku. There was Wife Shaku for her. Yeah. It was a
Yeah,
whole bunch of
whatever.
things.
Hirohiko's the only one who
really-
doesn't get the nickname because it's funny.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
'Cause he just got a
how
name.
Yeah, he got it.
Yeah.
He got a name.
He didn't have to live in the purgatory of being Johnny.
Yeah, we couldn't live in the bird Shaku world where he made the fucking paper cranes. Couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Nope, it's over.
It's so interesting because
Lily Hishaku, of course, can't forget.
the Hishaku are a really good villain group. And that's with, I would say, pretty minimal. Like, they are a likable, entertaining, and interesting villain group without us having to know any of their backstories. And with, not a lot of screen time because we're only 66 chapters in, and they're only a fraction of that. But just the way that so many of the typical villain moments are portrayed, where like, when Johnny is like on the phone talking about Hirohiko, that's a very like typical like, oh, he's gassing up the new villain thing, or like the younger member of the organization, but he's doing it while on the fucking like children's playground thing.
Or on the other end, when he's talking to Hirohiko is like the way that he texts and what he's saying is just like, yeah, okay, I'll catch you later though. I'm about to watch a play.
Yeah, like it's just the way that.
You wanna know what's so
what we
funny
have
about that
portrayed.
too? Johnny Hishaku gets that text. He's like, "My young nigga cooking something. Just wait and see." He's cooking something. Wait and see. Have faith. Hey man, that's
I see you lost a lot of weight. What's your secret? I don't know. I think it's a matter of not having two arms.
Yeah, Kind of weighed me down. Kind of weighed me down.
I didn't need those arms. Made me look fat.
Hey man, it's just how it goes. It's how it goes. Yeah, this was a really, really good chapter.
What a crazy chapter, actually.
Insane.
I am so excited to learn more about these islanders because, like, we were told what the war was about. We still know nothing about it.
Yeah.
I think the closest we'll get, besides just, what this chapter did, just says like, all right, here's what happened. Probably something from Samura when he shows back up. That'll probably be your best bet. But who knows?
Sojo might
Because he could
be
probably
from
like
the
personally
island 'cause he's
describe the shit that he did.
And dead bodies. Okay, I see what you're saying, Aiden. Could be. Sojo could be from the island because there was a flashback. He was a kid in a field with flowers and dead bodies. Could be.
Well, I don't think that was Sojo. I think this has been a long-standing theory in the community, is that was the Shinichi wielder and they're related. So the theory goes that is why Sojo like admires the blades in such a sadistic way, is because he kind of grew up with that vision of them. That theory's been around for a while, actually. I believe it personally.
But hey,
We'll
if
see.
my theory is that the Shinichi wielder is from the island is right. Never know. The agenda could still
You never
agenda.
know.
The agenda could still agenda. But yeah, good chapter. I've expanded all my dialogue options on that. Is there anything else you guys wanted to say about it?
Fucking crazy.
Not really, no.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
Solid
good.
stuff.
Great fucking pod this week, fellas.
Great
Mhm.
pod indeed.
It's really funny, and this is not to disparage them at all because it's normal. But we spent like 20 minutes each on the Chainsaw Man and Kagurabachi chapter.
2 hours.
And this podcast is 3 hours long. So if you do some math,
Yeah.
Hey, man,
Yeah,
it was
that
worth
tracks.
it.
That tracks.
It was worth it, man. It was worth it. I will answer the question because it was asked to me earlier. How I feel about the Luka Doncic trade. That shit changed my fucking life. So I don't know if you caught it earlier because I know Manu asked me about it. I don't know if you caught it earlier, but yesterday I was watching the Royal Rumble and I was talking about it. Yeah, we're about to wrap up Exalted Space. But the VOD will be up as soon as this ends, and then I'll add the timestamps and stuff. But I was watching the Royal Rumble and I was talking to some friends about it, and I was like, oh, it was interesting, blah, 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 going into it and all that stuff, just having a good old time talking about it. I was like, okay, cool. Then one of my other friends, he was just like, oh, One Piece chapter was insane. I was like, yeah, man. So we talked about that for a little bit. Cool. I was like, okay, it was a good night. I need to get some sleep. I still haven't really made the thumbnail yet. I was waiting for the official so I could get the best version of Franky looking at the wall for the thumbnail.
Great thumbnail, by the way, actually.
Thank you. It took a lot longer than I thought, but I'm happy I got it done.
It looks awesome.
Thank
Genuine.
you. So I was like, let me go to sleep real quick. And then before I go to bed, because I was on my phone, I was just watching a YouTube short. I get a text from one of my buddies, and he's just like, hey, have you seen this Luka Doncic trade news? And in my mind, I'm like, Luka trade news? What the fuck do you mean? What do we mean? He just one of the best players in the world, top 3 basketball players in the world right now, face of a franchise, only 25 years old, isn't even as good as he could be, just got traded somewhere. What the fuck are we talking about? So I boot up the Twitter machine and I see the Dallas Mavericks have traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers for AD and a bag of chips. And I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? That shit broke my brain. I'm gonna try to put this in anime terms. If people who if you don't watch basketball,
Thank you.
Imagine we just traded we traded. I shouldn't even say we, because I'm not a fucking Mavs fan, but like imagine like we're in the Leaf Village, right? We're in the Leaf Village. We have Hokage Naruto. Not even Hokage Naruto. We have End of War Naruto. We go, wow, this guy's fucking crazy strong. Saved our whole village. Got us to places where we really didn't even belong. This he's the future, man. He's gonna be our next Hokage. He's gonna be our top dog. He's gonna lead us to the promised land. We're gonna get behind this guy. He's gonna be our rock. But you know, old Hiruzen, that guy, he was looking pretty good. Give us him. Give us him. What? Like, what? Like, listen. Hiruzen, strong guy, you know, good defense, saved the village at one point. But what the fuck are we getting Grandpa Hiruzen for when we got Naruto?
I like the Hiruzen. What the fuck does he know about being Hokage?
Genuinely, bro. Like, that's like the best thing that I could like think of, right? Like, I was like, this is like the best comparison that I could think of, man. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, well, you know, here's the thing. I think that, you know, the Mavs came out and they were like, you know, we think we can just win with, you know, with Anthony Davis, with this big defensive guy. And it's like, listen, you think you can win with Anthony Davis? Okay. Why the fuck would you get rid of Luka Doncic? What is your problem? And
my
like,
favorite.
Go ahead. No,
it's the fact that like you're right. Like you trade him for a fucking bag of chips. One of the things was they trade him for it was like a first round pick in 2029.
2029, yes.
Like what? They were all gonna be dead by then. What are you?
What the fuck? I couldn't believe that shit, bro. And like, I know they barely have any picks towards the future. You got Anthony Davis, who is still top 10 player, but he's old and he's only getting older and he's injury prone. You got Kyrie Irving, amazing basketball player. Brother, Kyrie, Klay Thompson, and AD trio does not move me. Holy shit. I mean, listen, they're gonna have some great defense, and overall I think the Mavs team is like better constructed than this Lakers roster right now, just because they have the more complete roster. But listen, the Lakers have Luka Doncic and they could have him for the next decade. I don't give a fuck about fit, nigga. We'll worry about that later. We got Luka and LeBron. Like, bro, what is wrong with y'all, bro? Like, Naruto comparison time again. So we have, it's like, imagine we're just in a random bumfuck village. And they're just like, yeah, the Hidden Leaf, they're just like, yeah, so we were thinking about shipping Naruto out to you guys right over there. Do you want, like, you want Naruto? We know you have some, like, old legends over there. You want Naruto to help you out? Yeah, man, sure. What do you want me to give up? You know, that Darui guy speaks to me. What the fuck are we talking about, nigga? What the fuck are we talking about, bro? What are we talking about, man? Like, we have Luka Doncic and LeBron James on the same team? What the fuck? Two of the best basketball players. They're just a duo now. What the fuck? They gave up Luka's prime years. I'm being so serious. If I am a Dallas Mavericks fan, I am Amazon priming pitchforks and torches to my house tonight, nigga. Fuck tomorrow, tonight. We are hunting down these owners like it is a witch trial back in the day, bro. You will pay for your crimes on this earth. Bro, the Mavericks lost like on their social media page, they lost like almost 1 million followers immediately. Bro, Mavericks fans, like they have children out here screaming like they're getting attacked. When they found out that LUKA got traded, parties in Dallas stopped. The DJs were like, what the fuck? LUKA just got traded. Everything just stopped. Bro, you know it's crazy when the person breaking this news, everyone was like, oh, he's hacked. No way. This isn't even like whatever. Like, don't even worry about this. He's hacked. Like, this guy is hacked, bro. And then like we turn around and walk away from that. We're like, yeah, obviously he's hacked, but wouldn't it be crazy if LUKA was actually a Laker? Turn on the TV and it's the same nigga who just tweeted. He's just like, yeah, I bet you thought I was capping, huh? You thought I got hacked? No, Negro. The trade is real. And we're like, what? What?
You turn on the TV. It doesn't matter what channel.
It's like, what is happening? What just happened? What just happened? Like, what? Bro, everything just, this is legit malpractice. Like, how do you do this? How do you sell this hard? How do you sell this hard? It's like they offered Gaara to the Hidden Leaf in exchange for Hiruzen. Bro, genuinely. Like, brother, we got two-tailed beasts right now. We don't care. Exactly, bro. Exactly, bro. It's just like, it's like, hey, man, we got Goku on our team, right? Right. That's for sure. You know, in this timeline, we have, you know, we were just wondering, could you give us like King Vegeta, but you have Goku, like prime Goku, strongest nigga of all time. Yeah. Listen, could you give us King Vegeta, the guy who just got bodied by Frieza? Yes, that one. Can you get? We feel more comfortable with him here. Okay, like what are we talking about right now, bro? Like this shit is ridiculous. I don't know how you do this. This shit, like I was about to go to sleep and then I just stayed awake. I stayed awake till like 5 a.m. because I couldn't go to bed. Like I was just staring at my ceiling. I couldn't sleep. I was like, how do you not, like, if you're gonna shop Luka Doncic, crazy, but okay, let's say Luka's like, get me the fuck out of here. It's like, okay, I am telling everyone and their mother about it, and I'm getting an infinite money glitch. I'm getting the infinite trade picks glitch. I'm getting everything. I'm getting niggas to give me their entire organizations for Luka Doncic, bro. But instead, they just go to the Lakers and like, hey, do you want the face of our franchise? For what? Anthony Davis? Ooh, that's a tough ask. Who else? I don't know, like a ham sandwich and a high five. That nigga will be in Dallas tomorrow. Give us Luka. Like, how do you, I don't know. I don't know, man. Just know this shit moved me. This shit moved me very, very much. So that's the extent to that. It was very big. It was very big. But with that all being said,
129 first round pick. That's a
yes,
fucking
bro. And the fucking Thunder owned their pick like the year before that, and like I know they have some other picks out there in the ether. Like they're cooked. They're cooked, bro. They're actually fucking cooked. Dude, this has to be something where like the goal was to piss off Dallas so much that you just get ejecto-cedo-cuzzed out of Dallas and you move the team somewhere else. There's no way. Like, I legit don't know what you do. I'm gonna check Twitter as soon as this pod is over because I still am just like in the dark. I don't know. I don't know what the thought process was. I mean, I know what the thought process was, but I don't know how you could think that in the humongous year of 2025. But hey, I'm very much looking forward to LUKA and LeBron basketball. I mean, LeBron has needed a proper point guard for a while, and they just gave him the best one in the league. So, okay. So I'm looking forward to see them do more trades and build a more competent team around these two as best as they can. Yeah, I think the worst part of this all was that they had his prime years in their hands and all they needed to do was literally nothing. Yeah, and LUKA didn't even want to be traded. He didn't even ask to be traded. He didn't request anything. That nigga was at home playing Overwatch, and they said, guess what, nigga? You're going to Los Angeles.
I deserved
what?
it.
What? What are we talking about here, bro? That nigga was just he was minding his own business, and they said, yeah, sayonara, bitch.
Wake up one morning, check Twitter, guys. There's some kind of hoax going on. It's saying I gotta play in LA. Hey, why my bags packed?
Yeah. Why the fuck my bags packed? What's going on?
Why you guys? Why are you painting over my parking spot?
Yeah, right. Genuine, like, bro, it was insane seeing other like basketball games going on, and then the camera cuts to the bench. They're all crowded around a phone, and the players are going LUKA with a confused look on their face, and the commentators are just like, "Nigga, we don't know either." Like,
LUKA walks into the locker room. He's like, "Hey, where my locker at?" It's just torn out of the wall.
Bro, LUKA shows up. He's like, all right, guys, I'm ready to practice. Tries to open the front door. It's just locked. It's like, what? What? Hey, what's going on here? He
activates the shark mode.
What's going on here, bro? What's happening? Dude, it's legit malpractice. Like, anyone who is trying to come out and be like, listen, Mavs fans, it'll be okay. Don't let these niggas on the internet lie to you, okay? If you are a Mavericks fan, pitchforks and torches expeditiously, nigga. There is nothing good about this. Bro, how do you look Klay Thompson in the eye? Klay Thompson, this man who left this legendary franchise because he wanted to play with Luka Doncic. He finally leaves and they go, sorry, buddy, we're trading Luka. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
That was the reason they did it. It was a prank. It was all.
Yeah, man.
It's real, but they did it as a prank.
I don't get it, bro. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand, bro. Yeah, this is a tough scene. I'm not gonna lie. It's like we're playing chess and you just shoot one of your best pieces. Like, yeah, bro, I'm shook. I don't really see how that's gonna help you, though. Exactly, bro. It's genuinely
queen in half.
Yeah, bro. It's like that. You know those one memes where it's like never let them know your next move, and it's just people doing the dumbest shit possible. Like, that is the Dallas Mavericks. Like, oh my god, yeah. Just
you're right. I didn't see it coming.
I didn't see that one coming. You're right. Yeah, he's literally like one last comparison. Okay. And this one's just a real world comparison. Imagine calling one of your rivals and you just say, hey man, do you want like my still beating heart from out of my chest? That's what the Mavericks just did. Absolutely insane. Dude, who the fuck is going to want to play in Dallas anymore, bro? They just traded the face of their franchise for nothing. Who the fuck wants to play for Dallas anymore? Anyway, let me stop.
Guys, bro. I have big news. I'm being recruited. I got the email this morning. This is my last podcast.
Oh shit, bro! Sky busting out the sky hook in Dallas. I like it. I like it.
I'm almost 5'10". I don't like the heat, and I have 0 hops.
I have 0. It sounds like Luka Doncic to me, brother. Oh my god! They actually went. They went. Wait, are they announcing Grammy winners already? What the fuck? Not Like Us won a Grammy already? I'll take it. Anyway, I'm sorry. That just caught me.
People are just getting ahead of the curve.
I'm sorry. They just announced Not Like Us best rap song Grammy winner. Not Like Us, first diss track to ever win a best rap song. was not expecting that. Hey, shouts out to my nigga Kung Fu Kenny. But they just dropped a video of them talking, like the Mavs like owners and like their coach talking about the trade. I am gonna watch that as soon as we end this. So I am gonna wrap this up.
I want to see that.
Yeah. I'm gonna send it. Let us know what your favorite chapter of the week was, man. I don't know what's happening anymore. There's a lot of information to process. But anyway, we're getting up out of here. Goodbye.
See you all around.